royal subjects, friends, relatives, enemies of the neighborhood, welcome on this 893rd episode in the yeareth of our Lord to Dave's Gone By, a ceremonial program of humor, attempts at humor, failures at humor, and 3 hours of astonishing wastes of time. I am your royal host, Dave Lefkowitz, joined by my queen consort, sort of. Her name is Joyce, and lo and behold, we are also, of course, the royal animal, the screaming goat, under whom we live in his mercy. And of course, we are graced and blessed by His Royal Highness. Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please welcome the King Knish. Not just the Royal Knish. He's making a ceremonial procession across the screen. Oh my goodness. He's going to drink from the ceremonial mug. Performing a kind of communion as he takes the Kool-Aid from the mug and transubstantiates it into vodka in his mercy. We will now let the Royal Grand Knish, His Highness the King, on to continue what he does all day, which is not much. And I, Dave Lefkowitz, shall divest myself momentarily. No, I'm keeping the crown. Hello, I'm keeping the crown. Hi, everybody. Dave.
Is it too heavy, honey?
Heavy hangs the head under the crown of, it's not really a crown of thorns this time of year. It's more a crown of like spring lilacs or something. Welcome. You are watching the 893rd episode of Dave's Gone By. I know nobody's watching it because everybody's watching the coronation still. He's king already. What?
Your crown is a little off tilted.
Like, what direction?
Come here.
This does not work for me.
No, you got it. This way.
Oh, well, now you see the tape.
No.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, yeah, this is good. Hello, everybody. So, yes, I know we couldn't resist either. We have BritBox on cable, so Joyce and I, we put on the thing, and it's like, okay, let's. What did you think, babe, of the coronation of now King Charles and Queen Camilla?
So the commentators were saying it's interesting that he wanted to diversify the presentation, but his daughter-in-law is not present.
Did they mention that?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, they have commentators. So the commentators were saying.
See, the Grand Knish is an uncommentator.
Oh.
I like your royal
there's
humor.
More of the procession that would like to be honored here.
Oh yes, we have the Prince, Prince Spudwood, the first.
He has some difficulties.
Yeah, his early onset Parkinson's.
No, I think he's young. He doesn't know how to wear a crown.
Oh no, gosh, no. Wait, who's this? And now our brand new, because we had a royal, what do they call a marriage? When it's a marriage of, not convenience.
It's like when they do the marriages just to build a state. So like the Queen of Spain will marry the German king. It's like a political marriage.
Political marriage. So we have that this week in the sense of bringing a new line of spuds into the neighborhood, because we have the little Prince Papito spud word there. We have our regular potato, and now we have brand new, ladies and gentlemen.
Show his special gift.
Well, you can see he's woke because he's got
show his
tattoo.
Special gift.
What is? Oh, of course.
Yes.
Behold, here comes the Sun King. Ladies and yes, he's got a pat of butter. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Joyce.
What does it say though?
It says, less haters, more taters, which I think, in the modern processional of potatoing is a very, very
He's like the
2023 thing.
protesters who have the sign that say "Not my king." This is his political message.
Yeah, it's about doing away with hate, not having this long-running feud between Mr. Potato Head, the
Yes.
Hasbro people,
Yes.
and the knockoff Chinese 99-cent
Yes,
potatoes that we get.
yes,
Yeah,
no more.
he's just like he's all about peace in the realm.
Yes.
So we love him.
Well, he's actually representing taters, right? So more taters. He wants
Yes.
representation of taters rather than being haters.
You will obey me. He's a dictator. Thank you. He even, I'll tell you what, he's even got chives on the top of his head. Look at that.
That's like
They went the extra mile. Yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
And so we did. We watched up until the
He's
carriage.
cute just sitting there too. He's cute.
Yeah. Went the mile this morning. Did you watch that? Where now you have to admit that was freaking awesome when they cut to the front of the of Buckingham.
I didn't
No,
like,
not Buckingham.
I didn't
Of
like to see all the soldiers all dressed up having to walk over horse duty. I would not walk over horse duty.
Did you see that?
And they can't walk around it because they have to
Yes.
maintain formation. That's cruel.
And it was so cruel of the camera people because you see them walking, and you can see that the horses had come in front of them, and it's just horse shit, all walking in front. I shouldn't use that language. I'm a royal personage, but just as you're like, are they actually because they can't. They have to step in this shit, and it's right in front of them, and the camera just went, we're not going to show this, because you can imagine someone gonna slip.
They can't. Well, also, but they tell you to take your shoes with a razor blade and cut it so that when you buy new shoes, they're not slippery. So they always tell you that. I know. I'm sure that I'm sure if they fell, they'd pick them up, or otherwise they would get.
I'm not touching it.
No, they would get trampled because they have
gosh.
miles and miles of people.
Yeah.
Like,
My.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be funny if there was a free ice cream and saying these 10,000 people start running and falling over each other like a Who concert. It was like, who was it? It wasn't Wembley.
They were saying though that he likes celebrities. Like they had all the celebrities there. They were talking about celebrities.
Well, who was? I saw Camilla.
We couldn't see Maggie Smith.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like a Dane.
Theater folks and stuff, but I wasn't paying attention when I came to your show.
But you said it bothered you that Meghan and
I mean,
I can't. William
Harry.
Yeah.
It's like saying like the commentator said. It's like you can diversify and have a ceremony, but if the Queen is asking or having racist statements toward her granddaughter or her great grandchildren, I guess, great.
Yeah, but the Queen is dead. Long live the Queen.
I know, but work that stuff out, right?
Yeah, I don't understand. Once Elizabeth kicked it, why Charles
because maybe they felt the whole family was not supportive. It wasn't just one person.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe they wish Charles had stood up for them instead of bowing to
Charles or anybody. I mean, maybe I don't know, but I think that that's.
Yeah. But I mean, it's an impressive ceremony. But meanwhile, I have to say this about Charles. He's just kind of there.
They said he was feeling the weight of the ceremony.
I'm sure he was. He was probably, as I told her, he was probably up since all night preparing and reading and this and this. So he's probably exhausted by the time it even starts. And he's 74, right? But still, it's kind of you're looking at him for some...
Yeah, the lights weren't really on. Yeah.
No one's home, except for the moment when his son can come up and kiss him on the cheek. You could see him, Charles hey kid,
Yeah.
But the whole rest of it, he's like...
He's like the Dalai Lama. Kiss my tongue.
No, but with presidents, it isn't you felt with Trump or Obama or any of the Reagan, it's sort of oh, it's a long ceremony. We're going to do this.
Remember all these. So remember all the mysteries and stuff we watch, right? When somebody dies and nobody cries, it's that idea of the stiff upper lip and these norms of don't show emotion, or maybe it's a class thing. I don't know.
No, but not even emotion. I mean, it's a long thing to show, but even a certain sense of regality and nobility as opposed to
Well, you're performative. He just wasn't performative.
He never was.
You wanted more performance.
That's why he never clicked with Diana. She was pure performance.
Well, that's why they chose her.
Yeah, she was beautiful. She was young. She was like this, and they made reasonably good-looking kids, but it's it wasn't meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So wow, there's a new king and queen of England. Ooh. I mean, it was a horrible thing to think, but I also thought, like, God forbid, Charles not looking well, and he drops dead in like a week or two, or 3 or 4. God forbid. But imagine that everybody suddenly, all right, wait,
or maybe
the costumes are still rented. Can we get an
but
extension?
maybe Camilla would be queen. I don't know. You're right.
Well, no, I thought you.
Yeah, but I don't know. What do I know?
I think it goes to this. He has a son. He has got a son
Yeah, but
that
maybe
is his
she
blood.
would. Yeah, but we had a queen of England, so maybe she would be the queen.
But I can't follow the whole succession thing at all. I don't think her father had a boy. And had she died and her husband wait, that husband of hers, who lived till 99, was driving into things, will he have been king briefly if she had croaked first?
I don't know. There must be some law.
I can't follow. I don't really want to follow it. I'm just curious. I'm sure people are like Facebook chatting in at the moment to say, oh, here's what would have happened.
Yeah.
I'll read them later after the show's over. I really, even though I'm on Facebook, I don't have Facebook up as we speak,
and I don't have my
because I'm doing, this. It's enough that I have to talk to you and be on camera and do this. But I gotta say, even in rain, with all that stuff, England was beautiful to see these buildings and the pageantry and the mile-long walk. And that moment when the carriage was in front of Westminster it really is out of Cinderella. You can see where like Disney got that from, of this golden carriage. They're coming out the thing, you get in this carriage. Come on, it's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. England was the great colonizer. They're terrible. They're this. It's holding old ceremonies based on things that did terrible things to millions of people in different countries. But, point a finger at any country that's,
Yeah. Of course.
Anyway, let me tell you what's going to be on this episode of Dave's Gone By, featuring me, King David. and
You like that crown? Don't, when we go out to the acupuncturist, please don't wear that.
Why? I'm not the one getting acupuncture. She is, but it's like, wouldn't it be cool to just sort of sit there in the place we're going and just be like, what? Or I'm going to run around you're going to go in. I'm going to run around the restaurants and walk around a bit. So I'm just going to be like, and I think today people get it. If I did it any other day, they'd say they lock this guy up.
Yeah.
But today they'd probably get it as a goof.
To me, the crown I made you looks like when the people in the UK wear it on Christmas. They wear like
those Christmas cracker things.
Yeah.
I think it's got a little Burger King vibe because the orange and the red.
It looks like flames, like flame. Yeah, like that. Like it's hot,
I would be a flaming queen then.
No, it looks.
Wiggle. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, let me tell you what's going to be on this episode of the show. It's going to be a cool show. We have, first of all, Greeley Crimes and Old Times, where we go to Greeley, Colorado, where my wife and I lived for about 13 years. And they have a newspaper there with 2 columns in it every week, except,
What?
Now that Coplog is back.
Oh no, they switch it off?
Coplog is every week now. They're back with Coplog. Phone calls that come into the local Greeley Police Department dispatch, right? And then there's also a column called 100 Years Ago, which is taken from 1923 newspapers in Greeley, and they pluck out things that were really, to our eyes, are ridiculous or funny or nostalgic or cute. Yeah. Well, there hasn't been a new Coplog. There hasn't been a new 100 Years Ago in 2 weeks in the paper. For months I had to beg.
Maybe Mike's on vacation.
I'm hoping. I'm wondering. I'm hoping he feels fine.
It feels like a vacation. 2 weeks is a vacation.
He's entitled. But if this goes on for a month, then I'm going to be like, Mike, where are you? We need. And then I have to start. I never remember the word hoarding the old Timeses and only doing 1 or 2 a week for fear.
Dole them out bit by bit.
Yeah. So sad. But the Greeley Tribune, the newspaper, does this. It's called Greeley Crimes and Old. We turn it into Greeley Crimes and Old Times on this program, Dave's Gone By. We also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Now, Colorado Limerick is a limerick. It's a 5-line poem of terrible intent and disgusting execution, shall we say. And as a king, I do get to execute things. But it's a poem about some town or city or burg or municipality in the lovely state of Colorado that I completely eviscerate with my so-called poetry. So it's quick, it's brutal, it's awful. And this week we go to, there's actually a town in Colorado called Wetmore.
Oh, wow.
Wetmore.
That's not going to be the.
That isn't even the punchline of the poem. I have to work with Wetmore to make it. Okay, we have a Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Wetmore, Colorado. So bring your women in, because tonight, if you want to Wetmore, we've got a poem for.
It reminds me of a baby making pee-pee.
Oh.
Like Wetmore.
Or like me.
Somebody wrote on my Twitter, right? Because it's like age-based. They're like, I hope nobody at that coronation had to make a wee. Because what do? You
go wee.
No, if you have to peeper and you're locked in with all that stuff.
I felt bad for Charles.
Yeah.
Think about it. He's a 74-year-old man with a prostate, right? He has to at some point vest, right? At
they changed.
hours.
They changed.
I'm sure when he changed after he got a chance to, they probably said, go now. They're playing music. They're playing Elgar or whatever the hell they're playing. They're playing the actual Weber song was nice.
They're playing Katy Perry.
Well, yeah, no, I've got to say all that hymn stuff and the religious. I'd forgotten. It didn't occur to me how religious the ceremony was. I thought it was just a coronation,
Yeah, but
king.
You're a king. You're a king. Don't you remember from your own coronation?
Oh, well, my own coronation, they served borscht. The pastrami there was great. It was wonderful. No, but it really did not occur to me how Christian-based and in your case, you were surprised by the Catholicism as opposed to
Church of England,
Protestantism, because there was they did communion, they did the wafer thing. It was more Catholic than Protestant. So, but I wasn't really expecting it. It literally didn't occur to me. I thought, oh, there's a ceremony, as opposed to here's the globe with a cross on it. I'm handing you this egg.
No, what they're saying to him was basically, you are the God over the earth. Like, the king is the God. They're saying you're the manifestation of God, and they gave him the orb, which is the world. Like, that's your kingdom. I mean, that's like...
That's
deep.
As Prince Charles said when the mic got too close, that was a clusterfuck.
I didn't say that.
He did not say that. I do not believe it. I do not believe he said it. One of the grandchildren did. No. So there's that. There's what? There's the Limerick of the Damned. We have our Gridley Crimes and Old Times, which, by the way, we will also have our yesterday trivia quiz. Yes, trivia is back again this week, featuring some very cool friends in the neighborhood. First of all, we'll welcome back, of course, Leslie Hoban Blake, who is a theater critic.
What time was the quiz, and what time is your guest?
Guest is in about 10 minutes, and quiz should be starting at 10.
Because I'll exercise while you do your guesting. Or
sure.
I'll lose the guest.
But Leslie Hoban Blake from Two on the Isle will be playing the quiz alongside Vicky Quaddy, who is our beloved Chicago friend, co-creator of Late Night Catechism, and the star and creator of Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun, which you guys can all go see if you are in and around the Chicagoland area. She does it at the Greenhouse Theater. And the return, after quite a long while, of some old friends of Joyce and mine, Friendy.
Oh, yay!
Fred Cleaver and Wendy Hybe. She is a retired librarian at the university where my wife and I used to teach. He is a science fiction.
He's retired now.
Right, yeah.
A blog. What did he do? A blog, or did he write a book? He wrote books or columns.
Yeah. I mean, his day job was different. He had like a working home day job, but he was also a critic. He would review science fiction books, and he was doing that too for a bit. So anyway, Fred and Wendy,
activists and stuff too.
Oh yeah, the local, back in beloved. Speaking of Greeley, Colorado, so they're going to be playing the game. Yay! So it's going to be a very, very fun show. And I left out the most important thing.
What?
So I'm King David. Coming up in a little bit, King Solomon, Rabbi Solomon today in kingly demeanor shall be. And you can tell it's going to happen because of the way I transpose the verb there. But Rabbi Sol will be interviewing in a few minutes.
Now that you know.
Well, I've got to throw this off and help Rabbi on with his duds. He will be interviewing a veteran playwright, not a playwright who's been in the war or anything like that, but a playwright who's had shows done all over the country for many, many years. He's done TV work. Actually, I should get more of his bio. But he wrote for everything from the TV series The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd to the Richard Dreyfuss show The Education of Max Bickford. He's an ACE Award-winning writer for an HBO series about Vietnam. He is known to off-Broadway circles for a couple of plays, including Rounding Third and Below the Belt. And he even co-wrote a Broadway musical of fairly recent vintage. So Richard Dresser will be with us in the neighborhood rather shortly. In fact, we're calling this episode, in a royal sort of a way, Snappy Dresser. Can I get Richard Dresser, Snappy?
I like that.
Dresser?
I love Snappy Dresser.
Yeah, so there you go.
You're dressed like a king.
So isn't this going to be a great show? We got all that going on for you. And let's face it, you've seen everything you need to see from the coronation. He's king, she's queen, they've done the trip, they've done the schlep. What else did we talk? Watch this. Watch this. Dave's Gone By. Our episode number 893. What else shall we talk about first?
Want some of these from the rabbi?
No. We could do it maybe later. It's too much of a muchness.
Yeah,
we have not even, because I forgot to do this.
What?
We have not even shared Roland. Maybe we'll show Roland after the.
Maybe we'll do it next week. Too much.
Yeah.
They're all,
So let's see. What shall we also talk about?
Take your scepter.
That's right. Oh, I forgot to hold it before.
Yes.
My royal scepter. Because I have a deviated sceptrum. That's a little comedy right there. So in a couple minutes, we will have our guest in the neighborhood, who is Richard Dresser, the playwright. Before
is he present?
Yeah, he's just logged in. But let me remind you then. I'll give him a moment or two to get ready. That if you want to find out more about this show, let's say you're not watching this live because your eyes are glued to Buckingham Palace and that whole thing. Well, if you miss it or your friends miss it, you can tune into this later.
I don't know if it's being streamed. Like we see it on BritBox, but I don't know. You think?
I imagine the major TV networks are doing it.
Who gets landline
public.
TV?
Well, we don't, but a lot of people.
They do.
Yeah. Well, cable would have 2, 4, and 7 anyway. I'm sure it's covered in a big way. It's not like sports now where you need to pay some sort of fee to watch anything.
Or the Tonys, that was really weird.
Yeah. Interesting thing about the Tonys this year. They're going to have the first hour
free
on a service that's usually paid, but you can just kind of tune in for free, which is nice. Assuming the Tonys go forward
the writer's strike, I know.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Now, they've done that before, yeah.
The people who do the work should get paid. All the graduate students are out, not at our universities, but other places. There's even Fordham just went out.
Fordham?
The graduate students at Fordham, I just got a thing from,
Well, it's about time that this bulk of the lower level workforce, the people teaching the 100 and 200 level classes, get paid a reasonable wage considering the hours they put in.
We all did. I mean, we were, when I was a grad student, everybody's, we were exploited.
I'm exploited.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, I have to, in the fall, I'm going to be busting my ass, as I did last fall, so I can make a decent living all year long. It's not a decent living. Even killing myself is, to make 20 grand for half a year. Is that money? Is that you can live off it, but it's not in anything. Do I get benefits? No. Do I get, because they keep you teaching just enough so that you don't have to get benefits. And that's how they work out. I'm exploited. I do it knowingly, willingly, because I enjoy teaching and it's something I can do.
So
and I can't get a fucking job doing anything else.
You co-exploit yourself.
Yeah, I'm in on it. But if we strike, if the adjuncts suddenly say, you know what, we really should maybe be paid 5,000 a course instead of 3,000, so that we can live and eat and breathe by teaching three.
But these are grad students. It started when I was at Columbia.
Yeah.
And Columbia and I think CUNY started here. This is long, long ago, like 20 something years ago.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, things over the pandemic kind of got, but now it's sort of like, come on, gas is going to be $3.50 a gallon. How about not a 1% raise?
Sometimes when I talk to the graduate students, I see what they pay. It's good to touch base, right? We were there, but.
Well, anyway, I'll touch base more with davesgoneby.com for the archives and our Facebook page for the archives, archive.org for the archives and the Dave's Gone By channel, as well as castbox.fm for the audio archives. Lots of ways to catch up on the content that either you've already seen and want to revisit, or maybe you missed because you couldn't be there live, you had to watch King Charles do his King Charles thing. Anyway, I'm going to let Rabbi King Solomon do his Solomonic stuff by interviewing Richard Dresser, the playwright. He's waiting in the wings as we speak. So let's take wing with Rabbi Sol. I'm not going to just do some of his usual klezmer. Let me do the old one. Here he comes. Shalom! Shalom, my friends. And shalom, my enemies, too. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, King Solomon today, after my special coronation. And I am delighted in a royal way to be chatting with someone who is royalty of the theater, if you will. Someone who has done shows off-Broadway, shows all over the country. He has written for cable television, for HBO as well. For example, he is a Cable Ace Award winner for the Vietnam War stories that was shown on HBO. He wrote for The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd, if you remember that show with Blair Brown on TV. He wrote the Richard Dreyfuss Show, or wrote for it, The Education of Max Bickford. Off-Broadway, you might have seen his shows, which include Below the Belt and Rounding Third. He's had plays done at the Actors Theater of Louisville, Merrimack Repertory. He's taught theater at Columbia University, and he's been twice, not once, but 2 times to the Eugene O'Neill Playwright Center in Connecticut, and he's even co-written a Broadway show. He's got a novel out called It Happened Here. Well, it's happening now. Won't you welcome to the neighborhood with a great big shalom, Richard Dresser. Shalom, Richard. Hello.
Hello, it's great to be here. The best introduction I have ever received in my entire life.
Oh, well, thank you. It all goes down from here. But you're lucky today. It's a royal welcome because in honor of everything that's going on, King Solomon, talking to Richard Dresser. So, Richard, I know you got already the novel written that you're pushing. And what are you working on right now, if you don't mind my saying? Like, what's in your typewriter that's not a typewriter anymore?
We're opening this play, Our Shrinking World, and I have a new play, All That Remains, about 2 couples on a remote island off the coast of Maine trying to figure out what to do with their lives. as chaos ensues in the country. And I have a one-man show. I will not perform it. That is my gift to the American theater, is I will not perform it. And it's called Unstoppable. And it is about a motivational speaker. And when you see this play, your life will be changed by this motivational speaker.
My good. Now, first of all, you haven't told us where we can see some of these things, because I know our Shrinking World is at New Jersey Rep. So
Yes, it is.
unfortunately, you have to go to New Jersey to see it. This is worth it, but it's New Jersey, and it's running from. Oh, it's already open. On May 4th, it started. When's the opening night?
Opening night is tonight. We've had two previews, and we have a matinee this afternoon, and then it opens tonight. And so it runs through the end of the month, and it is very worth checking out. Of course, I'm completely objective about this. It's a wonderful, wonderful production. Some of the best actors I've ever worked with.
Of course, you have to say that, but I'm sure it's true. Where is New Jersey Rep? It's
It's in Long Branch. It's if you feel like your life would be enriched by a road trip to the Jersey Shore, this is the time to do it. Jersey Shore, Long Branch, right on the beach. It's a very intimate theater. You will feel as if you are on stage with the actors, and these are actors you want to be on stage with. It's really a terrific little theater. This is the second play I've done there, and I'll come back again if they'll have me.
This is so sweet. So let me ask you a couple of quick questions. It's wonderful we're getting you literally on opening night. Do you have opening night rituals, like little things you turn around, you wear a certain shirt or not, or what?
No, I don't. I don't do that. My rituals might involve a cocktail or two. I find that a wonderful tradition in the theater, which I plan to conform to tonight. But other than that, I'm not particularly superstitious. I think that I just think I go into it, and I feel very calm in this situation, because and sometimes it's because I simply don't understand the situation, and that's a key to being calm. If you know too much of what's going on, there's much more room for anxiety. I feel very calm. I love the show. I love the actors.
Well, how much? Since this is a new play, right?
Yes, brand new. That play has never been done before. I wrote it during the pandemic.
But let me ask, how involved did the director let you get in the Jersey Rep? Was there a moment when he said, "Okay, thank you, Richard. Now I'm the director. Go away," or were you there everything, making changes, or what?
I was there right from the beginning. This is a director, Joe Cacace, I've worked with many times before. He's a very good friend. And this was the most collaborative situation. We did the first read through and everyone was very excited about the play. And I thought, my work is done. And my work was done until the second rehearsal. And once we got into the second rehearsal, I started cutting and coming up with new lines. And we really encourage the actors to be an active part of the process, which really makes it fun for me. It's not that I automatically do what they say, but the words have to be real coming out of their mouths. And so it's been very collaborative. And one of the other reasons it's collaborative is we all live together. We're all living together in the same house. It's a communal situation. So when you're casting a play at New Jersey Rep, you don't just cast the best actors, you cast people that you actually can live with for a month. And that takes it, that makes it a slightly smaller field of actors. But we have had an absolutely great time. It's taken important years off my life expectancy living in this communal situation. But it's been a blast. It's been really fun.
I honestly don't know your person. Are you married, kids? I mean, are you away from people that you would normally be seeing for a month?
Yes, I am married and I have a son, and they came to see the show on Thursday. But this is my second family. It's a temporary family for a month.
But does it still, like after opening night, do you go home, or are you there until May 27th when the show?
No, I go home. I'm going to go home tomorrow, but I live in Hastings on Hudson, north of New York City. And it's
You'll come back once or twice to see that.
Well, I'll come back. Yeah, I have a lot of friends showing up and agents and things like that. So I want to be here for all of
Go for
that,
the
all of that magic.
Now,
Yes.
at what point are you one of those people who, since you were allowed so much into the process by your friend, the director, were you still making cuts and changes up to like this dress rehearsal, or a week before that, it's frozen, let it be?
I made changes up until 10:30 last night. And and and
Is that fair to the actors? I mean, do they mind, or are they like, well,
they
whatever,
love it.
there?
They love it because these are not big changes. This is not like a huge monologue that's going to change the course of civilization. This is pulling out a line that just isn't getting the reaction that we wanted it to get. And they're it's so collaborative. I really feel like part of what my job is now is to give them the play. They have to own the play. It's the closest I expect that I will ever get to childbirth, where if you do everything right as a parent, your child will break your heart and leave home. And if you do everything wrong, your child will be 37 years old, living at home and not mowing the lawn. So this is the process of this is the process of the child leaving home and but not breaking my heart.
Now, you gave us kind of the themes of our shrinking world, but what would be the log line? And like, if you're wanting audience members to come for a night to the theater, what story are they seeing?
Well, they're seeing a story of the one shrink in a small New England town, and another shrink shows up, and the town is not big enough for two shrinks. And it's a competition between these two shrinks to save this one couple. And what we learn, and this is not giving anything away, is that this couple really holds the fate of humanity. So the stakes are extraordinarily high, and but it's about two shrinks competing with each other and trying to save these people.
You've done this thing before where something that's seemingly prosaic turns has apocalyptic manifestations. Is that the right word? But what you did Below the Belt, which
Yes.
people would say is your most done play, your
Yeah.
most popular play, the one that was done off Broadway. It's guys working in some kind of,
Yes.
I'm not sure where the hell they work, but they're working, they're doing something, and then what they're
Yes.
doing is bigger ramifications. Is this
Yes.
a thing for you? Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's interesting you say that, because my wife brought this up. She saw the show on Thursday night and she loved it. And I'm not sure she had a choice, but she did love it. And she said, so so often you are drawn toward apocalyptic themes. What do you think that is about? Because I'm a pretty upbeat guy, but I honestly don't know, but I think it is how I deal with mortality, and I think it's how I deal with mortality exponentially bigger. It's not just me, it's all of us, what we're all facing. And that's really what this play is about, because I don't want it to sound like an eat your vegetables kind of situation, but it involves climate change. And usually when climate change is discussed or brought up, it's very earnest, and it's very or angry, or and it's urgent. Of course, it's very urgent. That's why I wrote this play. But in the play, it's not dealt with as, now we're going to stop and have a serious discussion about the fate of the world. It's all in these intimate terms of these characters trying to work out very, very personal things.
Now,
So
sorry, please, yes.
well, I just feel like in general, when people laugh, their defenses are down and they can hear things in a very different way than if it's point counterpoint. And we live, in this shrill world of everybody jabbering on cable news all the time. And it's just like, there are other ways in. And I feel the same way about the issue of book banning, that there is another way in, rather than calling people Nazis.
I call people Nazis all the time.
I
And
know.
I am sick of such a shrill and loud, annoying world with people just getting on the internet and just shouting things. But that's just me. Yes.
That is just you. No, it isn't just you.
Now, let me ask you a question. We're talking
Yes.
with Richard Dresser, the playwright. Speaking of apocalyptica, is your novel, where's the name of it? I'm missing.
It happened here.
It happened here. Is that also, what is that one about? Because that's pretty recent too.
Yes, it's recent. I wrote it for I wanted to get it out before the 2020 election. As you might recall, we were all we were all panicked. And so I decided to write an oral history of an American family from the perspective of 2035. So this family is looking back on the 15 years that we're facing, and it's how a family, staying connected to each other, and horrible things happen because fascism takes over the United States, and they end up, the family ends up uh, starting a commune in Canada. But it's about the problem I have with it at this point is, and that my friends have with it, is that and this is not because I'm a genius, but it's because it really did predict so much of what's going on in the country, in terms of people trying to take the country down. What I consider to be a fascist, attempt to take down democracy. That's really what the novel is about, but it's told, again, a very intimate story through a family and how the family survives.
And the book is called "It Happened Here." It's published by whom, and where can we?
Brown books,
Bravo. Yeah.
Brown books. Yeah. And so you can get it anywhere. And
Well,
it's
no,
a
I looked in my closet. I don't have it here. So not quite anywhere.
anyway,
You buy
okay.
it certain places where you buy books. I think
Okay.
what you
All
meant.
right. Anywhere you buy books, and it is again, it is I think it is a very entertaining read because it isn't a screed, it isn't a manifesto. I could have written it as a political satire, but I didn't. I wrote it as a family story, and it's a 14-year-old girl in 2035 trying to piece together what happened in her family. And it's all in dialogue form. There's no narrator. And I did that because I had never written a novel, and I thought I will play to my strengths. I know that I can write this as a dialogue, and so you don't have a narrator saying this is what this means and this is what, but you get people talking, and I've had actors read it, and it's wonderful to hear it.
Yes,
And I
that's why I'm wondering if it was an all dialogue book, why didn't you just make the next jump and turn it, or are you going to turn it into a play?
Well, I had an offer to turn it into a play. It's a lot of characters, and it's hard to, as you know, it's hard to get plays with big cast done. I'd love to do it as either a podcast or a mini series, because it's a story that just keeps rolling along about the ups and downs of the family, and you through their dialogue you see how people age, and some of them don't make it through, and some of them go to prison. I mean, it's like, it's really what happens in an American family when times are tough.
Now speaking, you were just talking about miniseries and the other media. You have written for other media, including
Yes.
series, TV series. Now, was Molly
Yeah.
Dog cable or was it network? I don't remember
It
the.
was cable. Well, the reason you don't remember is because it was both. It started out on NBC, and then it moved to Lifetime.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, and then I was living in New York, and at that time, writing jobs in New York, TV writing jobs are very hard to get. And
Oh, they're so much easier now. Yes.
well, there just weren't very many shows that were being shot in New York, and that was being shot. And I'd never done any television. And the producer, the creator of the show, Jay Tarsis, saw one of my plays and invited me in for an interview. And I made every mistake that you could possibly make going for a critical job interview. I didn't watch the show. My wife watched the show, so I got her synopsis of the show, and I went in, and Jay said, what do you think of the show? And I said, I love the show. And somehow he smelled a rat, and he said, who's your favorite character? And I said, well, really, you've woven such a rich tapestry of characters, it would be a crime to pull one. And he became weirdly intrigued by somebody who was sort of following the Lenny Bruce dictum of, your wife finds you in bed with another woman, you just deny it. He tried to break me, and he couldn't break me. And
Oh.
so he brought out 2 videotapes, and he said, I want you to write an episode, but you need to promise you'll watch the show so you know what you're writing. which I thought was fair enough. So I watched the show, wrote it, and I realized I loved writing television. So Jay, he's one of my best friends now, and as
Oh,
I remind him, our relationship started out with a lie, and
but
there
did,
probably
what is it like? Did you just kind of go home, watch the episode, write it, or were you in the writers' room for the, or in the room for that week? Because so many of these things tend to be collaborative. There's a writing, plus there's things that happen before in the series. You can't just watch two episodes. You gotta watch, know what everybody was for the whole seasons before. What is that like?
right.
Take us through.
Well, this show, it remains probably my favorite job because it was a real writer's show and it wasn't a writer's room. I ended up watching a bunch of episodes and I hung out on set. There was no writer's room, but I hung out on set and I spent a lot of time talking to people and I found it incredibly liberating for some reason. It was a time when, since there wasn't a lot of TV being done in New York, you could call up Nathan Lane or David Strathairn and say, you want to be on a show next week? It's great. And so it was a wonderful, wonderful show. And Blair is still one of my great friends. And she was a delight to work with. She really was.
Oh yay! Oh yeah! What about the dead Vietnamese American soldiers in Vietnam that you wrote about? Were they fun too? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're doing an HBO series about what? How did that come about?
That came about just because it was at a point in my career where my plays were getting done and I had plays running at the Pasadena Playhouse and and Laguna Playhouse, and so my name was being bandied around out there in Hollywood. And there was a woman that I'd known from the O'Neill Playwright Center, who was a producer on that show, and she asked if I wanted to write for it. And I'd been reading, for some reason, I've been reading a lot about the fall of Saigon, and I wanted to write something about that because that situation of being helped by people on the ground and then leaving these people behind, Afghanistan, it's an historical story that keeps getting told. And really want to write something about that.
Oh my god! And it won an ACE award. That
Yes,
was a pretty.
yes.
Do are awards meaningful to you? Or are you one of those? It's glittering prizes. It doesn't mean anything. Or it's like it's nice to be
Well,
recognized.
it's like everything else in life. It's nicer to win than not win. I mean, I don't place a lot of stock in awards or reviews. I mean, and the reason is just that I think all of the external things can get in your way. I mean, and you can start. It wouldn't now. I mean, if you're a young writer, I mean, I just saw coming up. I just saw writers get overpraised, and the only place, once you're up on that pedestal, the only place to go is down. And it's just I just thought that part of it. I'm not so noble that I never read reviews, but I've gotten great reviews and bad reviews, and ultimately I think I know the quality of the work and I know what I got to do to get to the next place.
Well, do you wait until closing, the day after closing, to read the review, or do you actually read it during the run, or night, or what?
I don't think most actors, I think, don't read them during a run. For a playwright, it's like, the die is cast. It doesn't really matter. But what I used to do, I did a bunch of plays at the Actors Theater of Louisville in the Humana Festival, and there would be reviews all over from everywhere. I mean, a lot of people from Europe. I had a whole career as a European dramatist because of plays that were done in Louisville and got reviewed over there. What I would do is they'd send me a pack of reviews, like 60 reviews, and I would just read them very quickly. And the reason I would do it is I do pay attention if the same thing keeps getting mentioned. And the big thing for me actually is clarity. If what I'm trying to do is not coming through. And if it's coming through and people are upset by it, I'm fine with that. But if it's not coming through, and if there's something that is not knocking people out of really connecting with the play, I pay attention to that.
So, have you ever rewritten after a show has been done? Have you looked at reviews and gone, if this is done again, or if this is published, or whatever, let me tweak, or do you just keep it under advisement for your next play?
Yeah, well, I will, you know, when all of those plays got published and before they were published, I'd go through and I would do tweaking, but I would never change anything because a critic didn't
Oh,
like
no,
it.
I meant, but not a critic, but a bunch of critics. You look
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
they're right. They're right on that. But
yeah, yeah.
now let me ask you also, oh, sorry.
Those are hard words to say. The critic was right. It's very, you know.
Nice. You do realize that the producer of this program has been a theater critic for 35 years,
But I love critics more than I think they sort of operate on a higher level than the rest of us, and I love.
yes. Well, maybe not higher than playwrights, but higher than
Right.
most of the rest of the world.
Yes.
So speaking of on a high, and no fair, you cannot say either rounding third or below the belt because they're your best known way.
Yeah.
The favorite play that you've ever written. So it isn't about the success of it or how often it's done, but like the play, and it's no fair saying your latest one either. The one I'm working on now. Don't give me that shit. No, no. Pick a play that you're really, really proud of, that you love, that you wish were done in New York, that we can all see, or around the country.
Well, there's a play. I wrote a play about marriage called Gun Shy, and in the course of writing a play, um, I tend to get so inside it that I am not always aware of how people close to me might react to it. And I did this play in Louisville, and in a 300-seat theater in the Round, and my wife came to see it, and I realized to my horror that the play was such a revelation of the very intimate things in our marriage. At one point, there were 299 people laughing, and my wife, and so, and so
How, when you put that aside, when you go into the writer's room, because anytime you write about a married couple, how long have you been married to your wonderful?
40 years, 41 years.
First of all, Mazel McGlick. But anytime you write about a marriage, it's going to leak in there. If it's a comedy, fine, great. But if suddenly and you like sit there and dread now in the writer's room, or can you forget? You say, I'm going to write what I'm going to write, and if my wife sits there and sees this, so be it.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I deal with this a lot as a teacher, and I do a lot of mentoring up with non-professional writers, and there's a real fear of writing something that's genuinely going to hurt somebody else. But what I do and what I tell others to do is the first draft is for you. It's not for anybody else. And if you don't get the truth down there, it's not going to be as strong a piece of work as it could be. Having said that, once you finish that draft, you need to take a step back and then use your craft to either disguise or to soften whatever it is. But if you don't get the truth down, your truth, then why do this? I mean, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't bother doing it if I didn't feel like I could just really get it out there. As it turned out in that with Gunshy, I mean, it really was a great affirmation of marriage, but you had to crawl through a lot of broken glass to get to the finish line. And
So
so,
first draft, I hate you so much. Oh wait, she's coming to opening now. All right. I
yeah,
love you ever so much.
exactly.
Fixed it for you. We are talking. We have a couple more minutes. I know you cannot stay for the quiz, right? You cannot stay for the one.
Unfortunately, I can't. I'm running around, but I seriously I
Yeah.
love doing this, talking to
Oh,
you.
good. Okay. Now let me ask you, what was your experience on the Broadway show, Good Vibrations, which was based on, they're doing the jukebox musicals. This one was about
Yes,
the Beach Boys, and they got
yes.
you in there to do sort of a light comic, fun thing. It was not a Broadway hit, but what was your experience working on Good Vibrations?
Well, it was interesting. Sometime I would like to write a book about it because it encompassed so much. I'm obsessed with the Beach Boys. I mean, I have been since I was a kid. When this opportunity came along, I jumped at it. And the problem was that the producers only had 7 more months on the option of the music. And usually from the start of a musical to Broadway, if you're lucky enough to get to
Years.
Broadway, 7 years, and we had 7 months. So I was jumping onto a speeding train. My agent strongly urged me not to take the gig, but I thought I'm never going to get an opportunity like this. And so had a summer workshop with all this wonderful, beautiful young cast, and the audience went crazy. It was just so much fun. There was nothing pretentious about it. It was just
Yeah.
fun. And so I thought that we were then going to go around to various regional theaters, but they didn't have the time, they didn't have the option. And so we went straight to Broadway and musical, and I had never written a musical. And so, so it was in a way exhilarating and in a way agonizing. And but the audiences really liked it. It was, we knew we were doomed with the critics, and there it really does matter. I mean, we got a terrible review in the New York Times and everything, but I still run into people who just love that show. And I met Brian Wilson.
I was going to ask, so do you have a Brian Wilson story?
Well, I met him very briefly. He came up to me afterwards and he shook my hand and he said, "Richard, you made me proud of my work." And I thought, you know, I can die now. I mean, I would prefer not to, but but it really made me happy because it was a story that it was a very simple story about kids going to the California dream, and 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 it was super fun. It was just a rush, and this is not an excuse. It's just like that
No,
was
no, that's
that
why
was
I was curious about it, because that is your Broadway credit. You have a Broadway credit, which is an exciting thing to have, as
yes,
well as the off-Broadway shows.
yes.
And are you still teaching at Columbia?
Yes, I am. I teach screenwriting at Columbia. I love it. I teach a screenwriting workshop, 12 students, international students from all over the world. I teach it's a 3-hour class every week. I love it. They're talented. They challenge me every step of the way. I challenge them. We get very close. I'm in touch with students from the past years. It's really, I never thought of myself as a teacher, but I was put in this position, and I've been there 8 years, and I taught at Rutgers before that, and it's the best. I'm going to tell you about one other thing. I know you're out of time. I know that trivia beckons, but I'm just going to
Well,
tell
no,
you.
you beckoned. I wish you could stay for trivia, but I can take another minute.
Okay. I just want to tell you
Yeah.
that 15 years ago, 4 of us in the Writers Guild started a group called the Writers Guild Initiative, and we do writing workshops all over the country with marginalized populations. We started with veterans. We're now working with exonerated death row prisoners, LGBT asylum seekers, survivors of human trafficking, and we have the greatest mentors, writers, who mentor these people. And I'm currently the president of this group. I tried so hard not to be president. I left meetings early. I did anything I could humanly do not to be president. I love being the president of this group. And it is
Now, understand there is a population of Jews who do not live near delicatessens. Could you, I think this is the next group that your team really needs to work on. I'm just saying. And
Absolutely.
we do. I don't mean to push you off. I would love for you to stay a little bit longer, but I want to tell everybody, most importantly, and by the look, I'll even offer you some babka. Look at or what is this? Or locks. See, people don't. All right. But I want to remind people, if you want to see at New Jersey Rep.
Yes.
I'm being handed all these things. Oh, it's gun shy. There we go. But go to New Jersey Repertory Theater. It's down on the South Jersey Shore. I'm sorry, what town was it?
It's Long Branch.
It's
Long Branch. It's really worth the trip down, I'll tell you. And I'm not just saying that this because, well, I am saying it because I wrote the play. I wouldn't be plugging another play, but it's a wonderful production. You're gonna love this. You'll fall in love with this cast.
It's called Our Shrinking World. Get your tickets.
Wait.
I'm sorry, please.
It's called Our Shrinking World.
Oh, I left out a shrinking.
Yeah.
Of people, I've got so much shrinkage, you shouldn't know from it. But our shrinking world. I'm so sorry. Richard Dresser. NJRep.org, New Jersey. NJRep.org is the place to get your tickets to Long Branch, New Jersey. It's tonight. Are you doing a matinee also on
matinee this afternoon? Opening night tonight. Absolutely.
Great. Numerous legs. Or actually, also don't forget to get his book. It Happened Here, which is from Brown, and as he said, you can get basically everywhere. You just have to pay a little money for it. And what else? What else? Very quickly, can we look forward from you soon, or anything else?
These new plays, I don't have productions lined up, but I will. And but we have a documentary, Devout and Dangerous, about Daniel and Philip Berrigan, anti-war priests from the 60s and 70s. It's a wonderful documentary. We just started doing screenings, and we're going to set it up someplace so people will be able to see that. It will give you hope. People walk around saying, yes, things are terrible, but what can we do? These people, they went to jail, they led protests, they were huge, important anti-war and anti-nuke people in the 60s and 70s. Inspirational figures. We show it to young audiences and they go crazy. People don't know the Berrigans. They're worth knowing.
I barely even know Bunny Berrigan, so this is completely Richard Dresser, a delight. I thank you ever so much for being with us. I wish you I won't say success because that's bad luck. So breaking legs, kneecaps, testicles, whatever tonight for your show and all the other things you're doing. Please come back in the neighborhood when you have all these more projects happening too. Please.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
An honor and a pleasure. Shalom to you.
Okay. Take care.
Richard Dresser, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, the snappy Dresser indeed. And of course, how can I be more snappy than being King Solomon, my friends? But King David Dubig is coming back because there's a quiz to do and questions and trivia. So do not go away. There's more of the 893rd episode of Dave's Gone By coming at you after the music.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Got a little bit of a frog in my throat. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we're here in the neighborhood with my scepter and my crown and our guests coming into the neighborhood to play the Today, Yesterday Trivia Quiz. Oh, and there's Vicky Quaggy from You don't have royal stuff behind you. I was assuming you would pick something very coronational, but you've got the beautiful plants. Is that from your actual garden in Chicago?
No.
Oh.
Maybe later this summer,
Got it. How you doing, Vicky?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, it's busy, which is good,
Yeah. Well, post Easter, people are still coming in the theater to see Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun? And late night
catechism. This is our anniversary month. So we opened 30 years ago in May of 1993. So it's May 28th was our first preview. The 29th, that Memorial Day weekend, that was our first performance.
So you're going to do something big for the 30th?
Oh yeah.
Oh, or you can. So what are you going to do?
Oh no, we're doing kind of a month of celebrations. The original ticket price 30 years ago was $8. So
now it's 48 or something like that, or how much?
It's only 35. It's still a good deal.
It's still reasonable. Yeah.
But I'm making 4 tickets per performance available at the original $8 ticket price. So, for people who say, I'd like to come, but, now you can come because you can snag those 4 tickets.
For like $24, you can bring all your friends. It's fabulous. And speaking of fabulous, we're here with also Fred Cleaver and the unseen Wendy Hybe, his wife. And Wendy have been friends of Joyce and mine since we met them when we were living in Colorado. They're living like a quarter mile away from where we were living. And Wendy was working as a librarian at the university where Joyce was. And Fred was reviewing science fiction. And you had a day job, Fred. What was that? I don't recall what it was.
It was bookkeeping nonsense. It wasn't important.
Nothing worth talking about. Fred, I love you. You're just like you're turning into a lion.
That's right.
Good one.
You probably can hear Wendy off camera. She's not up to coming on camera right
That's
now.
fine. That's fine. But if you could maybe translate, because it's very hard sometimes. I hear her talking, but the microphone is not translating what she's saying. It's.
Well, I keep telling Fred to go to the Huffing Challenge to get his main groom, but he won't go.
Oh yeah, well, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see you combed your face. It's good.
I did. I combed my face for you.
Good one.
Oh, I missed that. Wait.
No, nothing there.
Oh, it's just there's quiet waiting for me. Look at that.
Yes,
So
waiting
let me
for
give you
you.
the rules. Meanwhile, is my phone here, or can you text you know who?
Oh,
Who?
oh,
Who? The person missing from our. It's supposed to be
Les.
our usual person playing the today yesterday trivia quiz. So we very lucky to have Wendy and Fred. We're very lucky to have Vicky Quaddy, and we should be having Leslie Hoban Blake in the neighborhood playing too. I'm sure she's trying to log on with
I just
her
said
toaster
we are
or
starting. Please join us.
yeah. So
She's got bad Wi-Fi in her building.
I know.
Apparently.
I know.
And she doesn't want to use her minutes. Maybe get her hotspot.
Well,
Yeah.
a little old for using her hotspot, but that's a woman thing. I'm not going to go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Vicky always shakes her head. The former Catholic schoolgirl. Here we go.
I just tried. I'm like, whatever.
Whatever. Anyway, well, actually, Fred and Wendy, it's been a while since we played the game, but you probably remember the rules. You used to watch the game all the time. You know that questions are worth 2 points apiece. It's just trivia. And that if you get it right, you get the 2 points. If you get it wrong, you don't get any points, but the other person, somebody else in the room, gets to steal, potentially, the question. And that questions are generally based on things that happened on this date in history, May 6th, or they're more recent, or they're just more weird. First of all, Fred and Wendy, I'm going to ask you very kindly to pick a number from 1 to 6, and you can even let me know what it is.
1.
Wow, what takes
Wow.
1? Cool. Go, Fred. 1. Vicky?
I'll take 4.
Leslie, yeah.
Okay, nothing less. Yeah.
I have to be quiet because I'm in the Westminster, so I don't want
Yeah.
anyone to see what's going on,
Oh, and
Keep that his way,
nobody's mentioned my crown. Nobody's mentioned my signet
Show
ring.
potato, maybe that will.
And of course,
Show us some keys right now.
well, here's of course the Grand Kaddish.
Oh, the best.
Oh, yes.
Fred and Wendy
But
did
now
some-
he's the King Kaddish. And Joyce just yesterday added something to our family. Isn't he beautiful?
Oh, less taters, more taters.
Lord, yes. And
Now, are you sure it's a male? Maybe it's a female. Do we know?
Oh, you know what? It's kind of closer
I
to a
think
female, and I don't want to
I
say
think
why.
the potato is
It's on the spectrum. It's somewhere on the spectrum.
Wendy says it's on the spectrum.
Somewhere on the spectrum.
There's no Leslie yet.
I'm on the spectrum, I'm sure. I've just never been tested. But anyway, here is I've got a 1 for Fred and a 4 for
Leslie, just keep her a
Vix.
6. There's no.
Yeah,
We know it's going to be a 6, so we'll do
Yeah.
a Leslie at a 6. Come on, Leslie.
If I bring it up, oh wait, she's trying to log
Oh,
on.
good.
Hold on, here we go.
She wasn't
So-
Leslie, she wasn't late.
Joining us potentially in the
Maybe
neighborhood.
Leslie imposter, she's on time.
Exactly.
Right, Fred?
Yes.
So trying to join us potentially with the number 6 is Leslie. I'm going to roll the
There's
die.
You'll make it.
Yeah.
You'll
There's a
make
big
it.
controversy that Nick Cave is performing at the Carnation, right? So they're like, "Are you a?"
Well, he's Australian. Why is that kind of?
Yeah.
Oh, go figure. I rolled a 6. So Leslie, are you there? Wait, is she?
Leslie will go first.
Lance, you there?
She's not there. She'll
Maybe
go
she
first.
was a red eye to
Let's give her
London.
the first. She likes
Well,
the
if
first.
she's the first, it's all right.
It's a red eye to London.
Yeah.
Brett, do you
It's
care,
not
or Wendy, do you care for first or second or third?
No.
No. All right. So I'm gonna roll again. Let's roll that. Hello. Roll the die. Thank you. Came up 6.
Leslie, hello.
Enough with the rolling of the 6s. This is not the way it's supposed to work here.
Mm.
2. Do we have a 2? We don't have a 2. There we go.
Leslie is here. Leslie, are you okay with going first?
Leslie's on mute.
Oh, David, give
I
her.
hear you.
Ask her to unmute.
I know,
You
I
know how
know.
to do it.
Yeah. Oh, Leslie, you're muted.
Do this. Do this. No, not that.
There you go.
Yes.
Hello, Leslie. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Good to
Hi.
see you. All right, so Leslie, you are by proclamation, since I'm the king today. You are going first.
I love
Now
it.
second,
That's the reward, right? I have to go first. Okay.
now Fred and Wendy, I just rolled a number 1. So would you rather be second or third?
Second.
Second. All right.
Wait. Why
I'll be
did I get voted first? Because neither of the other two people will take it? Is that the idea?
Yeah, the early bird gets to choose the worm, if you will.
I know, no, but you see, everybody's learned my strategy, which is to go as far left of that first as you can go. All right, never mind.
Well, anyway, Leslie, say hello to Vicky. Say
Hello.
hello to Fred and Wendy, my friends from, or Joyce and my friends from Colorado. I don't know if you've ever played the game with them before. You might have.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we have.
Did we really? I'm sorry. Okay, I don't remember the beard, so I guess, it's been a
Yeah.
while. I would remember that beard.
Mm.
I'm going to tell you, you should see his pubes. But anyway, let's begin. I don't even know.
Would his wife mind? I don't know. I mean, it's.
Ask her. She's there. She's just off camera.
Hey, Leslie, I'm the retired librarian. You remember me?
All right,
She-
let's
she was
begin.
Joyce, wait a minute. If she was Joyce in the kitchen, is that what's going on here?
Yes.
Yeah,
The
basically,
invisible-
exactly.
the invisible wives, okay.
So let's begin, though, with Leslie. This means that you get the first question,
Of
which goes
course.
back to 1733. Here we go.
Was that the last coronation?
Oh, I wonder. I'm not wearing a carnation. I'm violent.
Elizabeth was.
No, you're
At a
wearing
coronation.
a crown.
I am, of
There was
course.
no place- You
And,
couldn't see
and
anything
my
else but
royal
crown.
purple. Yeah. Here we go.
All I wanted to watch was Harry's reaction, and all I could get was everything else but.
Yeah. So here we go. Tito di Carni, aka the Venetian gondolier, had a bad day in London when he fought Englishman Bob Whittaker. What happened? A. The fight went 36 rounds before the gondolier went down with a broken jaw. B. There was no winner because both men were arrested the moment the fight started. C. The fight ended quickly with a body blow that knocked the wind out of the gondolier. Or D. The gondolier won the fight but then went back to his promoter's hotel room, went to bed, and never woke up.
Oh my.
One of
Could I
these.
have A again, please?
Sure. So what happened on this date in 1733? The fight went 36 rounds before the gondolier went down with a broken jaw. That was A. B is there was no winner because both men were arrested the moment the fight started. C, the fight ended quickly with a body blow that knocked the wind out of the gondolier. Or D, gondolier won the fight, but then went back to his promoter's hotel room, went to bed, and never woke up.
Never woke up. Well, you know what? This is a wonderful question. This goes back to the original format of what happened on this day, blah, 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 without any potatoes or anything. So it's very interesting. Hi, Vicky. How are you, dear? I know you're down there. All right. Okay, so he 36 rounds and broken jaw. They were arrested before they started. The body blow did something to the gondolier, and the gondolier never woke up. Have I got those right as far as those go? And is it what did or did not happen?
Only one of these is true.
Okay, so I'm looking for false. I don't like being first. Okay. I don't know what the laws were like in 90 something?
1733 was the year.
33. I don't know if there were laws against fighting. I doubt it. I doubt that they didn't allow bare knuckle fighting until somebody got killed. They allowed it here. I don't see why they didn't allow it there. So I don't think that's I don't think that's false. Oh, all right. So I'm going to say that they weren't, they did not arrest them.
Well, only
This is
one is
not-
true.
Only one is true?
Yes.
Yes, only one of these is true, Les.
Jesus Christ, I can't get this straight, sorry. Okay, one is true. Oh, okay. I'm going between B and D. Don't
And if you've ever done
do
B
it,
and D-
don't do it, David.
Too
I
late.
realized the minute I left my mouth what I gave you, don't do it. Don't do that one either.
The minute you open your, all right, anyway.
No, all right. I believe it went 36 rounds. I'm going to say that it went 36 rounds and the gondolier got a broken jaw.
So you're saying that A, is true. 36
Yes.
rounds. We're down with the broken jaw. Is that your final answer?
Oh, it's as good as any other in my head right now.
I'm going to blow my royal scepter. Ha! Yeah, well, it's fun jawing with you, Leslie Hovan Blake, but I'm afraid, don't feel broken, but that is not the right answer. That is not
Okay.
what happened. We're going to roll the die. We have a steal opportunity, my friends. This is why Leslie doesn't want to go first, because first is the most options.
I feel better sneaking around and lurking in the background and then jumping in. That's how I like to play.
Okay, so I just hit a 2, but nobody's got 2, and it went up to 3. Nobody's got 3. I wonder if this will be 4. It is 4. What the hell? What kind of die thing is this? This is gonna be. Oh, it's back to 3. Wait, 4. Wait, Vicky's 4.
I
Yeah.
am for. Okay, so it is that they were arrested, he died, or what's the one I'm missing?
Wait a minute, I'll read.
Body
the
blow,
remaining
something on
choices.
C.
A body
Oh,
blow.
no, they got knocked off by a body blow.
Right.
Well, they may have been arrested. I don't know. Public fighting. I don't know. I'm gonna say they were arrested.
I'm going to say that there was no winner to the fight because both men were arrested the moment the fight started. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That's horrific. Anyway, there was no winner in this question yet because that is not the correct answer. I'm sorry, Vicky. So we have a
Okay.
shot.
Wendy died.
Okay.
He died.
Say again.
Wendy thinks he died.
Wendy, okay, Gondolier won the fight, but then went back to the promoter's hotel room, went to bed, and never woke up. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's a rather deadly question, I'm afraid, because I've stumped the panel. It was just the most normative. The Gondolier, what happened was in the fight, the Gondolier punched Whitaker really so hard in the face, it knocked him out of the ring. But Whitaker then got up, got him in a body blow, which he wasn't expecting. They were doing face stuff. Punched him really, really hard, and that won the fight. Nobody got killed. Nobody got arrested. Nobody died. Nobody did anything. Just
Oh, boy.
Plain old.
Boring,
boring
boring.
fight.
Yeah.
But this was the first ever international prize fight. That's what was that happened on this day.
Oof.
So it was the original Italian stallion, is that the
Yes.
idea?
Well, because he was Italian and they brought him to England to have this
I'm
fight.
saying he's the original Italian stallion, that's what.
Was, yeah, they got him there. And he was, whether this is true or not, he was promoted as being someone who broke jaws when he won
What's the name
fights.
of the promoter?
Well, I'm sorry, what?
What's the name of the promoter? Who's the promoter?
Oh, I don't have that on my, but it's in there. If you go look
Was
at
it
it,
Don King?
it wasn't Don King. Anyway, my hair approximates.
Wendy, I agree, it's only the promoters who really make the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Or back in the day. Now I think the
The
prize.
house always wins.
Yeah.
Anyway, the House won this one because nobody got the right answer, which is exciting because it still means that everybody's on the same page with the same score, and it keeps the game exciting. As we move to the second question, which will now go directly to Wendy and Fred. So, if you guys are ready for the question,
Our loins are girded.
here we go. Well, farewell to.
Wait, can you hear that? There's music in the background.
You still hear it? Vicky, are you maybe hearing music in your?
There's no music here.
No, I don't hear it. Do
I
you?
don't hear
Yeah,
music.
it's gone now.
Oh, maybe it was a car going by somebody's thing. Farewell, speaking of music, to Canadian pop musician Gordon Lightfoot, who passed Monday at the age
I
of
love him.
yeah. Over the course of 4 decades, he released 24 studio albums. Most of them were on Warner Brothers, but his first label was United Artists, for which he released 4 recordings in the 60s. Which of these was not an early Gordon Lightfoot album? Wendy and Fred, the choices are A, Verities and Boulder Dash, B, The Way I Feel, C, back here on Earth, D, Lightfoot.
Well, Wendy, back here on Earth.
When you say back here on Earth, is that your final answer?
Yes.
Why can't I get a decent tone in this thing? Oh,
That was good enough.
it'll do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry to bring
It'll do
Wendy
good.
yeah. I'm sorry to bring Wendy and Fred back down to Earth, but that is not
Oh.
the correct answer. That is a
That's your
Gordon Lightfoot.
sci-fi background thing.
Yeah, probably was.
Yeah.
Let's roll the die.
Yeah.
And the number coming up is 5. No, it's a 5. Is the next number? Oh, Fred and Wendy a 1. Sorry. Time's just ticking away here. Number 2. Yeah, you can check on that coronation, folks. If you're a 2 again. 4. 4. Vicky, you have a steal opportunity.
I'm gonna say Lightfoot.
Say
I
Lightfoot.
just think
not
Lightfoot
actually-
is so simple. I'm just gonna say,
Yes.
Is that your? I'm going back to this. Is that your final answer?
yes.
Fine, even.
Well, Lightfoot, but heavy heart. I'm afraid Lightfoot with an exclamation point was the name of a Gordon Lightfoot album. So check
Okay.
it out. Leslie Hoban Blake, you have a steal.
So you said Verities and Balderdash.
Oh, yes, yeah. let's
What
do
was
that
the second one?
I can't
The
hear.
way I feel. Hello?
Yeah.
one.
I can't hear what Wendy
Vicky,
said.
how did you manage to get an invitation?
Gotta know some people, you know.
Yeah, and wear purple and everything. Wow, okay.
It's a
You
great-
sit next to Harry?
I don't know.
That's the thing behind it.
Gary, yeah, well, we chatted, you know.
Okay, well, you know, that's okay.
No one else was talking to him, so, you know.
None of you was talking to somebody. It's just everything, every time they turned the camera on him, he was caught talking to somebody next to him. Okay, it's either Verities and Balderdash or The Way I Feel. The Way I Feel, I love the title Verities and Balderdash. I don't recall that being a title.
She's got it.
It's a great title, but I'm gonna.
Hey, Leslie.
The Way I Feel is I think that's the name of the song actually. I'm gonna go with Verities and Balderdash was not one of them.
All right.
Is that
I'm still working here, you know. I'm working here.
In here.
so? Is Verities and Balderdash your final answer?
Yeah, I just like saying it.
Yay!
In Vino Verities, ladies and gentlemen, first on the board on this Saturday morning.
Yay!
Yay!
Because
Thank you. I'm glad we're in friendly competition.
Very good.
I will cheer for you as well.
Thank
do you know who did have an album called Verities and Balderdash?
Harry
That's I
Nilsson.
knew I heard it. Oh
That-
God, who would?
Harry Nilsson.
Oh,
Close.
Simon and
That's right.
Simon and
Close to
Garfunkel.
Harry Nilsson. Nope.
Frank Sinatra.
No. There you go. Nope. 1974 album.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
No, not Engelbert
Not
Humperdinck.
the hump.
No, it was Harry.
Oh,
Harry Nilsson.
give me a second. Wait a minute. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh,
It's not Harry Nielsen?
Not Harry
yes,
Nilsson.
Harry Nilsson.
Harry
It's not Harry
Chapin.
Nilsson.
Harry Chapin. It was Chapin.
Oh, Harry Chapin.
I think Taxi is on that one, or Cats in the Cradle is on that
Sure.
1974 album. So, but well done, Leslie Hoban Blake with 2 points.
Yay!
Leslie, that's who's first on the board. So, congratulations, but this game is far from
Would you
over.
like a tea?
A hot tea would be. Yes. Joyce is offering to make Her Highness a tea.
Oh, thank you.
Just on the
I
whole
already
time.
have a very weak decaffeinated coffee. My medication interferes with caffeine, so but I have to have some brown liquid, dark brown liquid in the morning.
I love how you say your medication
say it.
interferes with caffeine rather than the other way around. It's like, yeah, I just happen to take this pill, but it's my coffee.
Have her switch to tea. It's less of irritant.
It tastes like coffee that somebody passed a bean across, you know? It's like, that's the way it tastes.
You're talking to someone who grew up when I was a child. I drank Sanka.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Lord.
Lord.
Yeah.
I never understood that stuff. It tasted like paste from the school.
I was probably a child who ate paste, so there you go. Anyway, we have our third question, the third question and final question in our first round. It's going directly to Vicky. And Vicky?
Oh, no, it's 3 clues in the news, isn't it? Okay. All right, let me grab a piece of
I
paper
thought
and
of one
write them
this
down.
morning. I thought of one this morning based on what was being talked about in the news. I actually came up with
All
one.
right.
You know what?
Go
Let me
ahead.
do this one, and then we can do yours.
All
I
right,
can
go
Okay,
ahead.
good.
throw that
All
in
right.
just for funsies. But let me do this clue in the news. You know how this works, Vicky.
I do,
Three
yeah.
words not connected to each other, but each connected to another word, blah, blah. And the word is kind of in the news, blah, blah, blah. And the words are lucky,
Strike.
is that your final answer?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Lucky, zone, and
What were
hunger.
the other 2, by the way?
Zone and hunger. You would have got, yeah, I think everybody would have got.
Wow, very good, very good.
I didn't
No.
even hear all that. It went by so fast. Tell me what you just did.
Oh, it
I
was
got it on the first one.
It was
Yeah, she
genius.
What was the first one? Oh, strike
Lucky.
was the first
Lucky.
one? Okay, yeah, right, okay.
Lucky,
Hunger
zone,
and
and
Joan?
hunger.
Was that the other one? Joan?
Zone, like strike, zone,
Oh, zone.
Oh, smoke.
Got it, yeah.
and hunger.
I lost for smoke now.
So that,
point-
Come back?
congratulations, Vicky, but that kind of sucked. So Leslie, can we hear yours?
Yeah, let me just ask you though, is there more than 3 clues in the news?
No, that's the only 3
Just
clues.
in case you chose the same one I did. All right,
Yeah.
I went for this one. It goes Matthew blank. Blank.
Don't tell us
Bobo.
you don't have to do the blank. Just do the
Yeah.
3 because it could
Well,
be
you don't know which way
before or
it comes.
after.
If I don't give you the blank, you don't know which way it comes.
It doesn't
Whether it's
matter.
the
That's
I never
it.
give you that anyway, but go ahead. Matthew,
Yeah, we
Matthew,
always just get it. So Matthew,
Okay, Matthew, Como, and Admiral.
Perry.
All right.
Okay, it was easy, but it's my first one.
Harry.
Oh, but Perry, how is Perry in the news?
The guy who killed a guy on the subway with a chokehold.
Oh, thank you. Did not, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the dead one or the killer?
The killer.
The killer was.
The Marine. And I don't know how I feel about it. You know, I'm very torn between, is he guilty of something terrible? He didn't kill anybody who was hurting anybody. He just killed the guy who was annoying people.
No, it was murder, but we feel for him. We kind of understand why he did it, but what he did.
Well,
was
is that
wrong.
like the guy with the ice pick years ago? Who was that guy?
A guy with an ice pick? Who's
Yeah,
that?
there was a guy sitting in the subway waiting for some kids to do something so he could attack them because
Wow.
he had been attacked. I don't remember his name.
Oh. Well, there was
Big
also
Dick.
Bernie Getz
Horrible.
who overreacted.
That's what I was talking about. Bernie Getz.
It was
That's
an
what I
ice
was
pick.
talking about.
He
He had
shot.
an ice pick.
No, the black young men whom he shot,
Oh, he
had
shot them? Okay.
something that they were breaking into video games with. They had a
Okay.
weapon. They had something resembling an ice pick. He had a
Okay.
gun.
I knew there was an ice pick involved somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, no, I don't know how as someone who rode the subways for 30-something, 40-something years, there is a sense of like, oh, finally, we pinned one down. We got one of these annoying, scary,
I
smelly.
know. But he used to be a Michael Jackson, and he was saying hunger. He was actually saying he was hungry. Somebody caught him on a video, and he was just saying he was hungry. I mean, this is such a sad world that we live in.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. It's getting worse and worse.
I mean, I know that I've been in the theater when people have been eating and crinkling the
Oh yeah, I hate.
bags.
Oh, those people should be shot. Those are the ones.
Or chokeholding. You just, while you're watching Act 2, you just kind of,
Right.
All
you have to do is
the
get
second
that
act is
special-
wicked.
All you have to do is get that Spock special place, and then you can just put him in a mind meld or something. I can't dare it.
Oh, that could do that, and make it temporary as long as you don't kill them.
Put your phaser on stun instead of
There you go.
Yes.
Anyway, we have a stunning game right now because we have a tie between Vicky and Leslie Hoban Blake with 2 points each on Dave's Gone By. It's 10:30 in the morning. It's our 893rd broadcast. We're calling it Snappy Dresser because in honor of our guest who was just on, Richard Dresser, on this program. And we go to New Jersey Repertory to go see his new play that opens tonight. But we have a
who's directing it, David?
His friend is an Italian named Caccaccio or something like
Okay, no,
Calacaccio.
No, I thought it might be the guy from Penguin Rep, Joe, whatever his name is.
No, it's not Joe Calarco. It's somebody.
No, that isn't who I was thinking of, but that's all right. Go ahead.
We have round 2 of our Today, Yesterday Trivia Quiz with 3 more questions, one for each of our contestants. So even though Fred and Wendy don't have any points on the board, we are far from over.
David, it's very hot.
Oh, so
If you want ice, I put ice.
Joyce is pointing to her vagina and saying, David, it's very
No,
hot.
if you want-
I know.
Oh, I didn't stir your thing. Crap.
She didn't stir my thing, which is awesome. Anyway,
Oh my God.
thank you. The first question now goes directly, though, to, and by the way, may I send
Oh,
that?
yes, it comes to me now, right.
Are you going out today? Are you going out to the theater or something? Because you're
No,
pitched. If we,
I tried, look, there were days I couldn't look halfway human, but at least I have to try to do something.
you look 3
I am
quarters.
going tomorrow, though. I am going tonight. I'm seeing Prima Facie tonight.
Oh, cool. Oh, I want to see that. Yeah. Prima Facie is a one-woman show, or is she just like?
Yes, it's a one-woman show. Did I say it wrong? It's
No,
not.
I don't know
Prima
how to
Facie.
pronounce
I think you said it right.
Yeah.
It's a legal term. I
that's
thought
about
it was
right.
okay.
This morning I made some primal feces. It was
David, I have
very
a
good.
question. Are you ever going to take the crown off?
I'm never taking the crown. Are you kidding me? She just made me tea. I'm keeping this crown on forever. You know, Joyce is doing things for me now. This is great.
Don't get used to it, man. Don't get used to it.
Joyce, at this point, White Fang's claw should come in and knock off his crown, you know? Nobody will know it's you. Nobody will know
I'm having
it's
this
you.
stapled onto my head now. This is Thank you. Oh, Joyce is handing me a hot mug of tea.
Got it?
Got it. Thank you very much.
Here's your
Oh.
cup. Here's your cup. I put some ice in it. It's burning hot.
Yes, it is. It's
By
burning.
the way, I was at a function at the Lambs Club. Chris Hart, Moss Hart's son, is writing a book about his parents. Well, they each wrote a book, and he said now he's going to tell the truth. So,
Oh, excellent. You know, the Friars
It's
Club is
interesting.
up for sale. If anybody.
but I ran into Richard Viteri. I told you, I used to run into him all the time. Now I'm going to run into him all the time again.
Hey, oh,
It's the
wish
show.
him well. I mean, Richard Bateri was on our program twice in the past couple of months. Really cool guy, and he's doing plays and things all the time now, which is wonderful. Anyway, Leslie, I have a question for you. I do.
I thought if I talked around enough, you'd forget.
No, I won't forget. And this is not a multiple choice, but you're probably going to get this. We'll see. It's just a regular, plain old trivia question.
Plain old true question. Okay.
The year was
Okay.
1960. The date was May 6th today. After spending 19 years and 8 months in a Mexican prison, Ramon Mercader, aka Jacques Mornard, is released today. After the release, he moved to Cuba and then Russia, where he was awarded the country's highest honor. And yet, his last words were, "I hear it always. I hear the scream. I know he's waiting for me on the other side." Who is he, and why is he waiting?
I don't get choices.
No.
This is just a straight answer.
It's just a straight answer.
Okay, I think that this guy was the jackal, and I think, but I don't know who it was that he actually killed. They were out for him for so many people, and I think they caught him because I saw the Hitchcock movie. I think they caught him when he was trying to get the president of France. I think that's what it was. That could be like 6 different events all tied together in my head. But 1960, I was certainly alive and thinking at that time. I was cogent. I just don't. If it was the jackal, who did he kill? I don't have any idea. Oh dear. It would have had to have been someone important, and I don't know who. Oh well, Kennedy got killed. No, that was 3 years later. No, I have no idea. I don't know. I could sit here and guess, but I don't know.
Well, you could throw up a fake guess or 2 on the aisle to see Leslie and Charlie. Pick a name out of a hat.
Well, we've got 3 out of 4 of our reviews of Chicago up on YouTube. We did a story. It's kind of, I think it's cute, but somebody has to tell me because I have no perspective at all. So go see it. Go watch our 2nd and 3rd and tell me if it's funny or not.
Okay, all right, and it's over on 2 on the Aisle on the YouTube channel. So you're
Yeah.
doing a pass though on the question,
I'm
Leslie.
technically a pass. I'm sorry. I really don't know.
No, don't be sorry. You know, but it also opens up the chance here for a steal opportunity to Fred and Wendy. Let me read the question again.
Okay.
The
Wait,
year-
I have an answer. Wait, I have an answer.
No, well,
Can I do that?
Are you
I-
okay,
I'm
guys?
sorry.
Come on.
No, it's okay.
Let
It's
her
okay.
answer.
I'll just say yes, it was what I thought when that was the answer. It's okay. It's all right.
Okay.
No.
Are you sure?
Answer.
Was
Yes.
I allowed to do that? I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I
Fred and Wendy,
just
how do
like
you?
I had a brain
Fred and
fart.
Wendy.
Yeah, Fred and Wendy, are you okay with her having an answer?
I am.
Okay, we are.
I don't know the name of the person, but did it have to do with Truman and the guys he tried to kill, the Puerto Rican activists who tried to kill Truman?
Honey,
Is that your?
push your crown back a little bit. It's
Sorry.
covering your eyebrows.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Is
know
that
it's
your final
disturbing
answer?
me very much.
The-
I don't have a name. I'm only helping you with clues. I
Right.
don't have a name.
But okay, so we're involving Harry Truman.
Well, I know that some Puerto Rican activists went to jail for almost ever because
Yeah,
they
that's
tried
right.
to they tried to kill
Truman.
they tried
So
to
would
kill
you
somebody.
say, are you going to go with President Truman?
They went after Beth.
But they didn't.
Just
I don't
say
think
yes.
they even winged him. I don't think they even winged him. So I honestly don't know. I'm sorry, Wendy. I didn't mean to do that.
All right. Well,
I thought I had more, but it didn't come when I worked
well,
for it.
no, Fred and Wendy, it still goes back to them now as a steal opportunity. So I'll read the question again. The year was 1960. After spending 19 years and 6 months in 19 years and 8 months in a Mexican prison, Ramon Mercader, aka Jacques Mornard, is released today. After his release, he moved to Cuba and then Russia, where he was awarded the country's highest honor. And yet, his last words were, "I hear it always, I hear the scream, I know he's waiting for me on the other side." Who is he?
Oh,
And why is he waiting?
Devil.
Who are you waiting for?
The devil.
Oh,
Oh!
Wendy, Wendy.
I didn't hear what you said.
You said the devil.
Oh, okay.
What do you say, Fred?
I'll say Leon Trotsky.
Oh, Fred.
So is that going to be your final answer?
No,
Yes.
Hold on.
Okay,
I know that's
Well, Wendy and Fred, I would never thought this of you guys, but you are hot to Trotsky. That is the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen.
Good.
Hey.
We have a tie game all the way around. Check out Leon Trotsky, whom Mercader, and it's funny because Leslie, you mentioned an ice pick, and Leon Mercader murdered Leon
Right.
Trotsky with an ice pick, an ice axe, actually, in 1940. The axe is allegedly, the actual one is in the Washington, D.C. Spy Museum as we speak. And he spent about 20 years, but Russia made him like a big honor thing. Yeah.
But who was it? Who he killed? To whom did he kill?
Trotsky. He killed Trotsky with an ice pick.
He killed Trotsky. I thought you said that Trotsky. Okay, never mind.
No.
Because I knew that
But he
Trotsky
said
got
on
killed.
his
Okay.
deathbed,
I got it.
Trotsky. All right. So that's
Well,
yeah.
she should get half a point.
No.
Oh,
So,
Yeah.
all right. So now
Now,
Wendy,
now it's a real game, right?
now it's a real game because now they've stolen 2 points and they get to add to it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yay.
And Vicky. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is so exciting. So the next question goes directly to Fred and Wendy. And guess what, Fred and Wendy? It's not 3 clues in the news. This is called. Well, oh, Joyce is putting the heart on.
Is it popcorn?
Oh, look, I have a heart on.
Oh,
Oh,
The moans of hell.
That's what I make when I have a heart.
is
Anyway.
it a moss heart or just a regular heart?
Oh God.
Oh.
Oh, well, I like the Rolling Stones, so I'm not gathering any moss hearts. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what that means. Here we go.
Where's David? Mr. Peabody.
This is called Change One Letter.
My favorite.
They're gonna get it because they're very good at Scrabble.
Yeah, so
They're good with letters and numbers and words.
so here's
Build
the
them up, so if they don't get it, then it's really bad.
Yeah.
setting themselves up for
But then
failure.
they were just stooping to conquer, so they didn't want to just sweep the board. So they're trying to play down their skills.
Sure.
So here it is. This is about someone who was born today in 1903. It's a poem about
Oh, you lost your
this
heart.
person who was born in 1903, on May 6, 1903.
Yeah.
There's a poem about them, and it's going to have two answers, each of which is worth 1 point. Because one answer will be the answer, and then you change one letter to make the other answer. Have you guys played this one before? I hear talking. Okay.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they
Do you need
did.
an example, Fred and Wendy?
No,
Are you okay?
I don't. Does Wendy? No, she doesn't.
All right, we're good. So here is your poem. His Midtown restaurant was a home for Gleason and Jolton Joe.
Sure.
Change one letter for something you wear to and fro.
Hmm.
Sure.
Very Wendy. Wait, you guys have to come up with a.
Okay, what are the two words?
I have no idea, but it's too short.
I think Wendy just backed out.
But we need a second. Oh, no, it's quick.
So what is suits?
That's right.
What?
You're saying the teacher has it. It's suits. That's all.
No, that's
That's all right.
that's not spelled right. No.
It's all right.
Remember, the two answers are going to be.
So say it
One
again,
letter
say
apart.
it again, but say it slowly.
I'll say the whole poem one more
Yeah,
time.
do it again.
His Midtown restaurant was a home for Gleason and Jolton Joe. Change one letter for something you wear to and fro.
Hmm.
To and fro.
Well, what about that guy? What's that restaurant in Chicago?
That's not a Chicago restaurant.
It's
It's not Harry Carey.
not
Okay.
Harry. Sorry. What's he going to do from?
Something
I don't know.
people.
You say short, it's not short. I don't know.
You don't think so?
It's short and short.
Martin Short, he's too old.
He's too old. Yeah.
He's too young.
Some other Midtown restaurant I've never been to. I don't know. Well, most of them. We'll take short and short.
You're going to say short and short. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, for sure, I'm going to give you guys 1 point to Fred and
Don't
Wendy.
tell them which part is the 1 point.
I won't say, but you did just earn a point. But we have a still opportunity for more of it. So,
Frog, Fred.
hold on.
Who's stealing?
Frog.
I'm gonna roll the die, and we come up with a. Sorry, it was a number 2. Then we have a
Oh, no.
number.
I hope he's wearing long johns. Dave, are you wearing long johns? I hope.
Yeah.
There was a 5 again,
Wendy
my
said
favorite
she
number.
hopes we're no longer long johns.
A prophecy work, Fred.
Leslie, we have a steal opportunity for you.
Okay, I believe if we're talking about Tootsie Shores, so it'd be boots. The second one would be boots.
Oh.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir. And I don't have 2 heads doing it. I have 1. Thank you very much.
Oh!
Oh, well, now I'm playing the game for real. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's good.
I am going to. That was not the answer, but it is
That has to
absolutely
be.
the right answer. That is, wow.
I think I can answer it.
And boots.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Leslie Hoban,
think-
like, I'm going to give you 1 point.
I think I can
Thank you.
answer. Is it shirt?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the deal. Fred and Wendy get a point. Leslie gets a point.
Wow.
The poem was, his Midtown restaurant was a home for Gleason and Jolton Joe. Change one letter for something you wear to and fro. And Leslie, you got Toots Boots. Brilliant! Didn't even go there. But you were also right, Wendy, in saying shore, which is spelled S-H-O-R. There's no E on the end. Shore.
Oh.
And if you change one letter, it becomes shoe.
Oh,
Oh.
I didn't even figure that one
I
out.
was misspelling
You're
his
right.
name.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Toots and boots. I have to accept Toots and Boots.
Why have the restaurant?
Yeah. So good job.
Sorry, Wendy. Sorry,
Yeah.
Vicky. Sorry, Wendy.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
good.
got it.
Good.
Now, Wendy and Leslie, now you guys tie, and I'm behind by 1 point.
Oh, I said
Yeah.
sorry.
But this is the
Sorry.
incredible part. Leslie and Fred and Wendy are still tied with
Oh,
with Vicky only 2
Oh.
points behind. What a game! Oh my goodness.
Ugh, all right.
This is incredible. And here's the deal, though, because now let's see. That question went directly to Fred and Wendy. So this means Vicky. Now, Vicky, this is all the marbles.
This
Right.
is it.
If you get this right, you win. If you don't get it right, you.
I'm the goat.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you are. You are among the goats. David's the goat. Leslie's the goat. You're the goat. We got a bunch of.
Go ahead.
Stare
See if I
at us.
can get it.
Now,
Don't stare at us.
the year was 1963. Again, this is not a multiple choice. This is just a trivia question. 1963.
You got lazy this week, right?
Yeah, I was lazy and I only had like 4,000 papers to. Here we go.
1963.
1963. Okay. Boom! The Guns of August, about events leading up to World War I, wins the Pulitzer Prize for general nonfiction. It's the first of 2 Pulitzers for this historian, who also won for the biography Stilwell and the American Experience in China. So, what writer fired off The Guns of August?
Oh. I don't know. Oh God! And if I could call, I know people who would know this on a heartbeat. The Guns of August.
Well, I said boom.
I'm just repeating it. The Guns of August. Geez. I'm just trying to think who won that. I probably do know it, and I just can't think. Historians. God, I'm just blanking. I'm not even going to try. Go ahead. See if someone.
Wait. What's your website?
Oh, it's nunsforfun.com.
Nuns.
NUNS, the number 4 fun.com.
Wrap around the knuckles.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, here. Where's my scepter? My royal scepter. Yeah, wrap her on the knuckles because it's the typical nun thing. All right, hold your fist out, please. It doesn't really. Yeah. Okay.
David is such a child, Joyce. It must be like living with a perpetual 7-year-old, you know?
I don't have a special 7-year-old.
This is only
Yeah.
a very bright and precocious.
Precocious. That would be the word.
I said
It's not precious, just
I
precocious.
did say that.
So, Vicky, you did not get any points for that. You cannot win the game, but we still have a tie game. I just rolled a number 3. This is incredible. Every roll, everything. Fred and Wendy, you have a question.
We have the question.
Oh, sorry, what?
Oh,
And you steal the point.
okay. I'm looking at the librarian. She's never shelved that book. Okay. Repeat the question, please.
Sure. The year was 1963. On this date, boom! The Guns of August, about events leading up to World War I, wins the Pulitzer Prize for general nonfiction. It's the first of 2 Pulitzers for this historian, who also won for the biography Stilwell and the American Experience in China. So, what writer fired off The Guns of August?
That's a hard one.
That's what she said.
Yeah. McKinley Cantor.
Oh,
McKinley Cantor.
I don't know who that is, but it sounded good to me.
Is that your final
Yes.
answer? You know, it's funny. Rabbi Solomon hired a McKinley Cantor for services on Yom Kippur.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm sorry, Wendy and Fred. That's a great answer. That is not the correct
come
answer.
on, Leslie.
Leslie,
I know it was a woman. It was very surprising to me that she would write a book about the guns of August. I mean, it wasn't something that I would have thought a woman would have written. Maybe that's very sexist, but it was 1963, so we were all very sexist.
Oh, I was.
But I'm thinking that her name was Bachman for some reason. I want to say Ruth. I'm not sure of the first name. Bachman is the only name that comes to me. Probably something close to that.
So what
I
might
said Bachman. I don't know her first name.
Last
Can I
name.
get away with the last name? Jeopardy will give it to me for a last name.
Yeah. If it was in the form of a question.
Yeah, could you phrase it?
Who is Bachman? Who is Bachman?
Well, I'm afraid your Bachman will turn her into overdrive.
And
Actually, just
but I'm right, it was a woman, right? Am I right, it was a woman, David?
You are
I don't
right.
wanna
You
plug
were
it,
right as a
but-
woman, and you were so close. I cannot quite give it to you, although you were
No,
absolutely.
I don't.
But
What's
you're,
the
What was
name?
her name?
you're almost I'm giving. Does it help if I say that the middle initial was W, and she tended to use it?
No, it doesn't help me because now Bachman is the only thing in my head. So.
You conflated her name into one. Leslie, it's Barbara W. Tuckman.
Oh, Tuckman, okay.
Barbara
Okay,
Tuckman.
well, I knew I wasn't right, but I knew it was a woman. Okay.
And you were close. You were thinking Barbara Tuckman. You went Bachman.
I'm not Dr. Ruth or whatever her name is. I don't want points. I just want to know what the answer is. It's okay.
Okay.
You know what's fantastic? We have a tiebreaker. Oh, we have a tie! Oh my
Now
goodness!
we need a piece of paper.
Get your papers out. So exciting.
The only ones of us who get to do this are the ones who are in the tire. Everybody gets to do
No,
it.
everybody
You do it too.
Everybody plays. Well, no, Vicky. Of course you get to play. Of course you do. When you,
I was just
you get,
clarifying. Just
Leslie.
clarifying.
Okay, now
I
that
wasn't trying
now
not to
that
have you,
Fred,
Vicky. I wanted to make sure you're good. That's all.
no,
The
that's
other
good.
way
Hey,
around.
I want
Oh.
everyone to look really nicely into the camera. I'm going to take a picture. Real nice. Smile. Yes, like that. I'm going to take a couple. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
You're gonna send.
I'll
You're
do
gonna
one
send me
more.
one.
Hold on. Come on, get off. Okay, now. All right. I'm so sorry. I have to wait until the crap goes off my phone. No, it's true. Okay, one more time. There, that should be good.
oh,
I'll
It's very
send,
hard to hold my spontaneous pose that long, Vicky.
I'll send
It's
those.
very hard to hold
I
my
know, it's like
spontaneous pose.
Matthew Brady taking a photo, but
I know,
okay.
I know. Is there
You're using
somebody
a
behind
pinhole
you
box
with
camera.
a, is there somebody behind you with that old powder, the powder that explodes?
Actually, Joyce wants to. What was fun? We just yesterday watching an episode of QI, the British quiz show, the game, fun, really wonderful game show hosted by Stephen Fry, and then we're talking about the different words that people use in every country. At least back in the day, instead of cheese, because cheese is just more of an American construction. Yeah. So there's ositsi was from another language. One meant like muskrat or
Serbian. One was Serbian. I think they said muskrat in French.
yeah, like
Oh.
was he and but some of them were ridiculous because they didn't make your mouth even go like this. I don't even understand how they arrived at
Well,
that.
the one that I think is great is when people win those prizes and they say, "Okay, now say money."
Money, money makes it go up. Money.
Oh, yeah.
Is that-
It goes
Yeah.
into a real smile, Dave, and the
Yeah.
eyes glitter, and it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
there.
All right, now here you guys will all be smiling because I'm sure you will all get this tiebreaker. I don't have a. No, I should have saved Leslie's thing in case we have a tie after the tiebreaker. Whoops.
Leslie's what thing? What did I? What did
When
I
we
do?
did the three clues in the news, I should have saved that as a tiebreaker.
Oh! But
Except you
we
wrote
got
it,
it
so it's
immediately,
difficult,
so
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
But here we go. We have a question for you. It is not a multiple choice. It's a fill in the blank. You can write it down. I'll read the question again and then do a 3, 2, 1. You show it to the camera like so. Everybody ready? Here we go.
That wasn't
Yep.
me.
The year was 1960. John Flansburgh is born today in Massachusetts. With fellow Pratt Institute alumnus John Linnell, Flansburgh has written and performed dozens of pop songs ranging from quirky to satirical to off-Broadway to straight-up rock. What's the name of their little band? So write it down.
Could
Don't.
could I hear the second name again? You kind of mumbled it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll read again. John Flansburgh, born today in Massachusetts, with fellow Pratt Institute alumnus John Linnell, Flansburgh has written and performed dozens of pop songs ranging from quirky to satirical to off-Broadway to straight-up rock. What's the name of their little band? This is big doings. This is the tiebreaker. Oh my
They're
God.
serious, David. Let them think. They're
I'm sorry.
serious.
Well, yeah. There's stuff at stake here. They can be the next in line to the throne.
For what?
Don't tell.
I mean, the bathroom down the hallway.
The bathroom at Golden Corral.
All right. So I'm going to read do you guys all have an answer written down?
I wrote
Yes.
something down.
I wrote something
It's
down.
wrong.
Because here it comes. I'm going to read the question one more time and give it 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
The year 1960, May 6th. John Flansburgh is born today in Massachusetts. With fellow Pratt Institute alumnus John Linnell, Flansburgh has written and performed dozens of pop songs ranging from quirky to satirical to off-Broadway to straight-up rock. What's the name of their little band? 3, 2, 1. Hold it close. The Beatles. I see
I said
Leslie
Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Bachman Turner. I see was
Can
as
somebody
in
write Judge Wapner?
was not was. What's yours, Leslie?
Was, WAS, isn't that the name of the group? I don't know, maybe it's something else.
Or maybe I think it was not was from Don Was's.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, I couldn't come up with the whole name. I couldn't come up with
Oh,
what.
so what's the answer?
Well, it's not the Beatles.
Oh.
Really? Could it come from something other than the Beatles? And Bachman is not Bachman Turner Overdrive. And there was a clue in the final bit there. What's the name of their little
Little,
band?
tiny,
Little
small.
Little chocolate arms? No.
What's the opposite of little?
Big,
And other
large,
synonyms.
Large.
huge,
Large,
Huge.
huge.
huge,
Little feet.
She's close. Joyce is
huge
close.
nose.
Gigantic.
Big nose. Oh.
Big nose.
Gigantic.
Jewish.
Gigantic.
Almost. What's a variation of that?
Gigante.
Or
Gargantuan?
no, you were closer to the other.
Gigant.
Tarantula. Oh, no.
Well, if you're little,
No, I'm just saying words.
Giant? Giant.
Giant. Is that the name of the
Oh,
group?
giant.
They might be giants.
he said it. Fred, you don't get any points, unfortunately. Oh my God, we have a we end with three-way tie.
Still have to
The
tie.
band
What's
is
the answer?
the band's name is They Might Be Giants.
They might be giants. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Remember Istanbul?
Okay. I just have to clear that out so there's nothing up there bothering me. Go ahead.
Yeah, and John, actually, they didn't collaborate on the off-Broadway show, but Flansburgh did an off-Broadway show called People Are Wrong, I think it was, and they got a couple of dozen albums out. So yeah, They Might Be Giants, kind of they're still around,
I
1980.
think my son probably liked them.
Yeah, they got some fun stuff.
So what should we just say? It's a tie or what?
Unless you guys can think of, or Joyce, do you have a trivia thing maybe, or anything, or how can we break a?
Vicky, you have to think of the question because we have to answer it.
I know.
I can look up a trivia question. Hold on a second. I'm going to ask David.
Are we going on?
Okay, go ahead.
Board on this. Joyce is going to try and come up with.
Give me a trivia question.
Give us a show thing. Are you coming up to see anything before voting, David?
I really want to. I'm very tempted to come to New York in a week or two before Drama Desk and Avid Critic Circle voting, but I just don't know if I'm gonna.
Well, the problem is everybody's saying there aren't many tickets. That's the problem.
Oh,
All of the
And it shows I
press
wanna
is
see,
saying there
yeah.
aren't
This
many
is
tickets.
Teen Vogue, so you could pick some of these. Go through.
Oh, all right. Let's
Yeah, just
see.
pick some. They're from Teen Vogue, so if all of us are close to being teens and
Did
reading.
you say Teen Vogue? I'm out. I don't even
I
know.
don't
I have no idea.
Ooh, I have no idea.
Unless it's in our background, I have no idea.
I'm gonna pick a tough one, but maybe you guys, everybody can participate. Keep
Okay.
your paper handy.
all right.
This is from Teen Vogue here. Who is considered the first female self-made millionaire
Ooh.
in the United States?
Ooh,
Write it down.
Is it Donald Trump?
First,
Pre-surgery.
Say it again.
I don't know.
I'll read it one more time. Who is considered, thank you for finding this, the
Betty Crocker.
female self-made millionaire
Betty Crocker.
in the United States?
I don't know.
Gotta write it down.
Yeah, because everybody's gonna hold it up to that.
Yeah, you gotta do it as your second.
All right, I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Who is the first female, considered the first female self-made millionaire in the U.S.? 3, 2, 1. Edna Ferber, great answer. Oh my God,
Who got it?
Leslie Hoban Blake. It was
Excellent.
Madam C.J. Walker.
Oh!
Oh.
How did you know that?
You gotta think black folks. You gotta think all the history that was never told to anybody.
right, right,
You know,
right. It
that's why
was
people
actually
don't
something
know.
about that was online about a month ago.
Yay!
There was something, and I just couldn't remember her name, but I remember the story.
It was
Yeah.
Leslie, you
But
said
you see,
Excellent. Well, see, that's a different-
well, but I was a teacher and I taught this stuff. I went out and researched everything that wasn't in the book so that I could, in those days, you could get away with that. Now you can't. I would have been pulled out by, I would have been handcuffed and pulled out, you know. What?
She should come to Denver 5 points for that.
Yeah, she used to live in Denver, that's
Yeah,
what
so
Wendy's
she was a
saying.
hairdresser and she made products for black hair. And
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yay, Leslie, all right.
Well, that's being a really good sport, Fred and Wendy, because Leslie.
Sorry, Fred and Wendy.
Yeah,
Excellent.
congratulations. What
Listen,
are you gonna do with your winnings?
Friendly or team players. Friendly
Yeah, they
or
are.
team players. They're healthy. They're healthy people. They can appreciate when somebody wins or loses.
Thank you, Joyce.
Well, I appreciate when someone loses. I mean, I play a game. I absolutely appreciate when I lose. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank these wonderful people who have been playing our Today Yesterday quiz, including our champ
Why don't you
team.
give the crown? Hand the crown.
Oh, you know what? Here it
Hand
is.
the crown to you.
This
know,
is
you
the
gotta-
exciting moment.
You
Oh, I
gotta,
get to grab
Oh,
it.
And it
I would put it in the mail to me. I would put
Yeah.
You're
it
not listening, you're
in
not
the
listening.
mail to me. I
You're not
absolutely
worthy,
want
you're
it.
not worthy.
Oh my
David, I
God.
want you
So,
to mail it to me.
Leslie, one.
I want you to mail. No, you're not listening. I want you
It
to
won't
mail
stay
me
in the mail. Yeah, I have to fold it.
Flatten it out,
Like in
put it in an envelope and send it to me.
I can teach you how to make your own if you have a car
No,
construction.
I don't have construction paper. I got rid of all that stuff 20 years ago.
But Leslie, it's like the Stanley Cup. You can have it only for a week. So by
That's all right, then I'll hold on to it and I'll send it to the next person. I'm perfectly happy to do that. I think that's a great idea.
You need to get
Until
it.
it falls apart,
No.
that's what we'll do.
Don't do
it's
it.
really funny.
I mean, I always wanted a badge of some kind and we don't have one,
Well,
so.
maybe you could also, Leslie, you could sign it. Like every winner should.
Yes,
Sign it.
the
Oh,
Apka
that's
hat.
great. Okay.
Leslie, you were an
I'll
Apka.
write a
right?
little note. It says, you know, so-and-so in a tree, kissing, KISSING. Like the yearbook.
First came
But-
love, then came marriage, then came something with the baby carriage.
No,
Baby
Leslie,
carriage, right.
yours should be.
Full
that.
total
I
recall.
read
Full
team
recall
vote.
here. Okay, so David, the new thing is for anybody who plays from now on, you have to sign the crown and send it on to the next person.
I think that'd be great. I mean, if we do this for a while, it's going to have these wonderful.
Well, it'll fall apart, but I mean, still and all.
Yeah.
I'll-
Also, it'll be a lot of the same people signing it over. It'll be, you know, because you and
Well,
David.
you could just put, no, you could just put a mark next to it. If you get the second one, you just put a mark next to it.
Wow.
That is so. I love it. I love
think
it.
It's awesome.
Isn't that cool? I love that.
That's a great idea. That is now, Leslie.
Wendy and Fred come back and play again, so you can get the crown.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, and Vicky, of course. But Leslie, tell us, remind us again. I know you told us before.
Well, I just wanted to say I have a real
watch-
incentive to play now. David, I just want you to know I have a real incentive to play.
You have
now.
a real thing to play for. I know. What's on two on the aisle?
I'm catching up. I went out 2 weeks ago and I saw Fat Ham. Tonight I'm seeing Prime Minister. I put in for everything. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'll get everything. I mean, for example, there's a show I desperately want to see, but it wasn't nominated. They probably won't give me a ticket. And that was the Thanksgiving play. Did you see that a couple of years ago in 2018?
No, I wasn't.
It was
No.
a Playwrights Horizon funniest damn thing. It literally was a belly laugh every second.
Hmm.
Funniest. It's a show about political correctness, and it was just incredibly funny.
Hmm.
And now it has an all-star cast. I really want to see that. It's all closing. Everything's closing. You know.
Well, we're closing.
I'm not going to bother
is
with
closing
that.
early. Yeah, these are just a limited run. Did Thanksgiving play announce the closing date?
It's open until I think May 13th or May 23rd, something like that. It still has a few.
Did you see Sweeney Todd?
I haven't seen anything. I told you I saw Fat Ham, and I'm seeing Prima Facie tonight. And no, but I did see Sweeney Todd on Chicago, Schmigadoon Chicago. And if you haven't watched that series, go back and watch it. Yeah. There's some incredible stuff. Alan Cumming plays Sweeney Todd, and Kristen Chenoweth plays. I mean, they're not called Sweeney Todd. He's called Julie Flint, and she's called Miss Codwell. And she's a mashup of Miss Hannigan and Mrs. Lovett.
Yeah.
Together, and he's a butcher, not a barber, and he walks around with a cleaver. My hand is complete again, and he's got a meat cleaver.
Well, he's just killed Trotsky, so that's how it happens.
Right.
We're kind of breaking up a little bit, so let me move on to Fred and Wendy. How are you guys doing? I mean,
I like Friendly. You know, they have J-Lo Friendly. That's a great title.
Yeah. Friendly is Craig and Wendy. That's what Joyce and I have been calling it for many years. Yeah. So, Friendly, how's life in Greeley?
It hasn't changed a lot since you've left.
It's bucolic.
Bucolic, yes.
Oh, I like bucolic. Yeah. My baby had bucolic, and
Oh.
I stabbed it. But so it's pretty.
Oh, David.
What? Any restaurants? Anything opening? Anything fun, interesting in the 1 mile?
Have they seen theater at
Oh,
the?
they have relocate our wild turkey.
I went to one theater performance,
Oh, yeah.
which was a junior high school performance
Oh
of
my God.
How was it?
Musical Junior or whatever it was called.
Physical,
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
No, I actually have a friend, Brian, who teaches at one of the high schools, and he does shows with them, and it's supposed to be because they're local.
Depends on
Anyway.
the iceberg melt.
Yeah, the iceberg.
North side of the park.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's great to see you, Fred, and to hear you,
Yeah.
Wendy, and then Vicky. Remind us this weekend. What can we see at the Greenhouse?
Late night catechism, and I'm back to doing Bible bingo, so I'll be doing that tonight.
Oh.
Bingo tonight, great. So is Ice Great Nun on ice? Ice are there for a while, or are you doing that in a week or two?
Which one?
It's Spartan in your 8th grade nun. Is that?
I'm actually doing that next in 10 days up in Wisconsin.
Oh wow!
And then so I'm still doing different shows, but I'll be doing that one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Everybody, get your tickets at nunsforfun.com.
Did you say nuns on ice, Vicky?
No.
No, I was saying
That's
that.
what Dave said.
I would buy a ticket to Chicago to see that one.
Nuns on ice. All right, I'm working on that. Let me write that down.
Nuns on If Mel Brooks can do Hitler on ice, Vicky, you can do
That's
nuns
such a
on ice.
marvelous
Yeah.
Why
idea.
not? Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been playing the Today Yesterday trivia
Wait,
quiz.
have Vicky come to the cloisters up here. We have so they have Vicky. We have a Carmelite.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Actually.
I know. Yes.
The problem is we can never. They have like tea and stuff there. You can have like a high tea, but it's always booked. We can't get tickets.
So, but I want to go because I
It's
it's
tough.
not the
It's
Carmelite.
tough because they don't like sinners there. So
Well, David thinks they're made of caramel, but I don't
Right,
think that's
right, or it's rather
Wait a minute, Vicky. They don't like visitors or they don't like Jews?
Sinners.
Which is it?
sinners.
Oh,
sinners.
sinners.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. It sounded anti-Semitic. It sounded
And it's-
anti-Semitic
And
to me,
it's
no matter which way.
caramel, not caramel. Caramel.
Oh, is there a caramel? Well, no. Wait. Is it always there's caramel is a variant, isn't it?
Carmelite?
If you caramelize,
It's an age-old chicken and the egg kind of question. It comes up all
there you
the
go.
time.
And if you caramelize a chicken,
Well,
it's really
The
tasty.
problem is we don't know because they don't have space in their tea, so we can't ask them.
I know. Anyway, thank you guys for playing. I'm going to let you go one by one as you throw. No, you have to do. You got to do the
Queen,
royal wave
yes.
today.
I have to do the wave. Yes.
Oh, is Charles? I wonder if he's going to do the royal wave.
There we
We
go.
think of that as Elizabeth, but you know,
Mickey Claudia.
I am so angry that Camilla gets to be a queen.
To do
I
that.
am so friggin' angry.
All right,
That
hold
Camilla-
on. Let me friendly Wendy, thank you guys so much. We'll
Thank
talk to
you.
you soon. Have a great
All
one. Joyce is
Bye-bye.
also kind of angry, Leslie, about the Camilla Queen thing. Why? Because she was boinking Charles, or what makes her so mad?
because the lesson that is there to be learned is, if you are the king's courtesan, you can become queen. Historically, that never happened. Historically, the courtesan was always cast aside for something, but she stuck it out. She's the first in history.
And
That's the
they're married,
important
right? They
thing.
did get married.
they did get
I
married.
know that, but it's just a question of hanging on. It's longevity. That's all it is.
Well, they should have
Get her
gotten
head
married.
buzzed off.
They should have gotten married in what, the 60s or
In the
70s, whatever
60s.
year.
Forget
They
the
should
whole
have gotten
thing. Right.
married then. They truly do
That's
love
right.
each other. You know, they should have just gotten
They
married.
should have got,
Or he's totally pussy whipped, one or the other. I don't know.
Or that
I'm
too.
assuming that he's totally pussy whipped. He had his mother all those years. He had to have somebody after his mother died, so
Well-
he made sure he had a spare. You know, he married her.
Well, the family wouldn't approve of her. And it's just, that's the tragedy, you know, and the tragedy is that they took
ostensibly-
Well, the
advantage
tragedy
of
is Diana getting killed in
of
a car,
Diana.
but yeah.
And the tragedy is
And
just getting her
ostensibly, the
involved.
queen said,
Yeah.
ostensibly, the queen said, Camilla can be queen now. I don't believe she ever said that.
Oh,
I think,
well,
I
they
think,
waited.
I
They
think she
waited
said something
until.
like, I think she said something like, it was my tea now. And they came out and said, Camilla, queen now.
Ah, I don't know.
All right, I have to go. I'm going
Oh.
to a breakfast. I will see you guys another day.
Have a great. I hope so. Thank you, Mickey.
Bye.
Walking,
Bye-bye.
ladies and gentlemen, leaving the processional. Mickey Quaggy waving slightly and going into a carriage. And we also say farewell. We bid a fine farewell to Leslie Hoban Blake.
I want that crown, David. I have to have it before the next show. I
We'll
have to show it to people.
mail.
I have to show it to whoever's playing, and I have to explain what happened. That's the job of the.
It's a
of the
wonderful
queen of
idea.
kings.
Deal. Bye bye,
Bye.
guys. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, so much fun playing the Today Yesterday trivia quiz with our wonderful friends of the neighborhood. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Is it me or is it like foggy? Is it?
Oh, you know what you gotta do? Just clean your, use the
Yeah, it's
sleeve,
better now, I think.
use
Yes.
the sleeve
Here,
of
let me-
and then clean the
Oh.
mirror and the.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that, huh? Huh? Mm. Anyway, my darling and adorable wife Joyce is here, and we are continuing with the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream on this royal Saturday morning. It's 11:15. It's our 893rd episode. We're calling it Snappy Dresser in honor of Richard Dresser, who was a delightful guest in the neighborhood with Rabbi Saul Solomon on the show. But before we do anything else, are you feeling sort of criminal-ish?
Oh, I need my whatchamacallit. I sent you the Molang and Pew Pew have a new video out about vegetables and they're holding
Really?
tomato, yeah.
Molang and
Yeah,
Pew
girl.
Pew, I love them.
I sent it to you. I really
Because you are married to a special 7-year-old.
I don't care. You're a beautiful man.
Why, thank you, dear. Why, thank you ever so much.
I mean, I don't think that you're special in a bad way. I think you're special in a good way.
I'm exactly the man I ought to be. Ought being short for autism. Let's see.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait.
Oh, I can't believe they're still making new Molang and Pew Pew video or cartoons. How wonderful.
Where's the auto rotate?
Meanwhile, we're getting ready to play Grilly
Oh,
Crime.
right.
Not play, but to do Grilly Crimes Hell
There you go.
Times. This is a Korean cartoon.
It's a tomato farmer, see?
Oh!
They like tomatoes.
Potato loves this. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to get copyright issues there. That was Molang and Pew. They're actually very, very delightful, fun cartoons. It's
And
about a
came up
bunny.
your interview with Lee Walkner.
What about it? Oh, I'm on there?
That just came up. Yeah.
Yay. Oh, yeah, walk on by. If you missed my interview, or Rabbi Saul's interview with Lee Walkner a week ago, he's also a playwright and artistic director. He also does marketing and PR for nonprofit organizations. You can find it, of course, in our archives at davesgoneby.com, our archives at archive.org, and our audio archives at castbox.fm. Plus, scrolling right down on our Facebook page too. But remember that the Facebook has only the last few years of our shows. The websites have our shows going back to the very first ones that were on radio only. So davesgoneby.com is probably the first place you want to check. Anyway, we do a segment every week on Dave's Gone By that has to do with phone calls that come into the Greeley Police Department in Colorado. Calls that are not necessarily that urgent.
They're urgent to some people,
Yes.
but they're not emergencies, right?
Yeah. Not quite emergencies, and the funniest ones are put in the Tribune every week by Morgan McKenzie, digging those up from the police department. And they're mixed on this segment with another column in the Tribune that is called 100 Years Ago. And this is where Mike Peters goes through the newspapers from 100 years ago and plucks out things that were published, actual things that were published, that to our modern eyes look a little goofy or suspect. We mix it all up together to create a wonderful segment that we've been doing for years now called Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Well, we can bundle both in, and she has to return, she has to send the other crown
Should I
around.
make her keep her crown? I think she'd like it.
You think?
I
Yeah.
don't know if she'd like, what's her favorite color?
I don't.
Can I make a pink crown for her?
Sure. I mean, I don't know what her color would be. We can do green. We have green,
Or we could just give a little crown.
a baby crown, a crownette.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And let's face it, who besides us, who hasn't been affected by Corona? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, where's my, I don't have the sign, man, hold on.
Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do some criminality. So here's something that was reported in a police blogger just a week or two ago. A caller on 8th Street said 10 teenagers went down into a storm drain. How'd they fit?
It sounds like a Benny Hill skit. Teenagers went in the storm.
I just have this image of them circling like a drain thing
But
going
isn't that
sucked in.
wrong?
That's what, and by the way, there's no other information. That's what's wonderful about some of these. It's like, and?
Stuff happens.
No and,
Maybe
right.
they thought it was an air raid.
That could be.
You know.
Yeah. And you know, they were exhausted after it happened because it was so draining. It was so. Oh, a caller near 17th Avenue said a man ran across the highway, jumped on the back of a trailer, and tried opening car doors. Think about that. He ran across the highway, jumped on the back of a trailer, and started trying to open
like
car
a trailer truck. Wow.
Yeah. This is when Marvel superheroes are on drugs.
I love it. I guess if you're looking for new car, maybe you thought it was the CarMax when they delivered
Yeah,
the
so-
car.
it's like,
and
this
that's
one mine?
my car. I forgot to turn off the lights. It'll kill the battery.
Oh, man. Now, there's another man, speaking of cars, a man on 45th Avenue called to discuss a vehicle. During the call, he said, "Time out," while the call taker tried to get additional information. The caller then said, "I don't want to talk to your kind." And then, before hanging up, he called the police in the first place. And I was like, I don't want to talk to police.
Maybe he had regrets. He had some regrets.
Regrets? I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention.
Yeah.
Let's do another crime. A man. Sorry, I got like snotskers coming out of my nostrils here.
Are
Hold
you
on.
okay?
Wah.
You
All
want
right.
your tea?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
It's hot. Be careful.
Oh, there you go. It's perfect now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, a caller Oh no, sorry, a man on 10th Street reported that a bicycle kept appearing in his yard, but it was unknown who owned it. I'm thinking Casper the Friendly Bike Riding Ghost.
Wow.
Yeah. Could have been. Yeah. Hmm.
We hope
We-
a bicycle
Hmm.
appeared. Maybe he just thought he saw.
But what's
a
interesting
bicycle
is-
in his yard.
We don't know the actual owner of the bike, but he has some public relations stuff. Well, as a spokesperson. You know, I may be a loser, but sometimes, every once in a while, I win. Well, you know why I never drink, hon? I never drink a drop when bike riding, because I can't handle bars. Yeah, no. Does that ring a bell? No. All right, anyway, I would do more bicycle jokes, but I'm just too tired.
Actually, I think you're flat.
Ah! That's a double. All right, here we go. A caller on B Street, yes, there's a B Street, said a woman carrying a laundry basket broke his fence and walked around in his backyard.
Oh.
She then emptied her laundry basket over the fence. I have no
You
idea.
know, David, years ago we used to hang laundry, but you need a clothesline.
Yeah.
You don't dump it in the yard.
First of all, if she's carrying a laundry basket, that usually takes two
Maybe
hands.
she fell.
Oh man, oh, I wonder.
If you have a laundry basket,
Yeah.
and it stuff's in there, I mean, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. First of all, how do you break I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're one of those African people with laundry on your
She's
head,
not brave.
so she broke the fence, but then put laundry over the fence, except there's no fence anymore, she just broke it. How the... I'm lost. I'm absolutely lost.
That's metaphysical. I don't know if that really can happen.
All right, well, maybe these did happen because these are 100 years old.
Oh.
These are items that were in the Greeley Tribune newspaper back in 1923. So, a little bit. 1923 in the papers. For example, this will ring a bell. The Teachers College in Greeley will be presenting a burlesque this weekend entitled "The Man from Mexico." Somehow you can see how politically correct this is going to be. Dr. Duke Paulsett of the college said that although the show had the students rolling on their sides in laughter,
Wow.
literally rolling on their sides in
I
laughter.
think that was probably syphilis.
Well, Dr. Duke Paulsett said, quote, "It is the rottenest thing I have ever seen," and gave the college generation the wrong impression,
Yes, I
unquote.
believe, like many shows at that college, they can't get an accent right.
When asked why he thought it was the rottenest thing he ever seen,
Yeah.
this is still real. He said that in all the prisons in Germany and America,
Yeah?
he's never seen a warden entertain a prisoner, which is the theme of the play.
Oh my lord. Academics need to get,
So that, the theme of the play, Man in Mexico, I guess, takes place in a prison where
I don't understand.
I do not. Yeah, I know speak English. I don't know. No, but that Dr. Duke Paulsett of the college. But back in the day, burlesque, I guess, even in
I think you meant like a farce.
Yeah.
I think.
like when Chaplin did a movie called The Burlesque on Carmen, he didn't mean it was
David, I
bump
have
and
to
grind.
track
And,
my-
okay,
No, I'm gonna get my phone. I have to track what I'm drinking.
sure.
I have to-
Joyce tracks what she's drinking. So she's on her third whiskey of the morning, which she chugged down a couple of beers before that. By the way, we're doing Greeley crimes and old times. And just, by the way, Mike Peters, if you're listening, you're over there at the Tribune. It's been 2 weeks now since we've had some new 100 years ago columns. I'm just saying, I'm not going to do a lot of these because I'm worried that we're going to run out of some old times. But here we go. In yesterday's Tribune, this being
Yes.
back in 1923, the name of a Weld County town was misspelled.
Oh.
In a story about a new school being built, the town was identified as Fierce, Colorado.
What was it, Pierce?
Should have been Pierce, Colorado. I'm just saying, good thing the town wasn't called Puck, if you know what I'm saying. Little joke
Oh,
there.
David, I got my scratch-off savings for $10 off and free cash rewards.
From where? Kohl's?
No, my Walgreens.
Oh, ooh, this is good. This is
You know, I
good.
like to.
We'll
I
get
got
your
a
water today then.
coupon, yeah.
All right, well, let's do it elsewhere. Because although this is Greeley Crimes and Old Times, and we talk rather specifically about Northern Colorado, we also make room for a story or two from other places, from very far afield. As a matter of fact, we go pretty far afield for this one. Seoul, South Korea.
Wow.
Yeah, baby, we got Seoul.
What happened?
This is a story that just happened in the news this past week or two. Well, here's the deal. Here, let me ask you,
Yeah.
what do you think happened, okay?
I'm listening.
In Seoul, South Korea, the Leum Museum of Art, well, they have both traditional and contemporary Korean art
Yeah.
and other art. One installation featured a ripe banana taped
I know
to
what
a
happened.
wall. What
The
happened?
kid ate it.
Yes.
He was hungry. Some kid was hungry.
A college student who was hungry after skipping breakfast ate the art. The iconic artwork titled, quote, Comedian by Maurizio Catalan served as brunch for the student, who this reported, I think, by the New York Post, who was caught on video devouring the quote unquote masterpiece, valued at $120,000.
Oh my
for the
God.
whole, yeah, because modern art. After snacking on the forbidden fruit, the ravenous museum goer reattached the peel to the wall using the artist's duct tape,
I love that.
and then he calmly walked away. Now, this is beautiful. You can tell this is a college kid. The student who, they caught him on video having the meal. He responded saying, quote, perhaps damaging a work of modern art is in a way also a work of art. Isn't it there to be eaten?
I think so.
It makes you think. It's like, wait a minute. It's a ripe banana taped to a wall. Maybe that is what it's there for, right? In the context of an art piece that is interactive. And for his part, the I don't know what you would call it, the artist, the sculptor-ish, Catalan was fine with the boy eating the banana. They replaced the banana on the wall every 2 days anyway, because it starts to turn brown and go rotten and stuff. So, it doesn't really, if that installation thing is worth $120,000, if they have to spend like 70 cents on a banana every day,
I wonder if they insured it for that much. Like,
I wonder. Maybe every time somebody eats the banana,
wasn't there
he collects
another
120 grand.
museum where that candy or something, somebody ate it. Like you can't.
Yeah.
If you think somebody's going to take the stuff, why don't you? But also,
Aside.
wasn't it inflammable? It was just fresh banana because wouldn't it go rotten?
Well, that's what I just said. They every 2 days anyway.
Oh.
They take off the banana and put a new banana on.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter. But you
Oh.
just made me think, like, if this thing is insured for 120 grand, every time somebody defaces it, he gets unbelievably rich.
Not the defacer person, but
No, the artist.
Yeah.
It's like, this is $120,000. Oh, it's ruined. It's ruined.
I don't know who would insure that.
It's $120,000. Okay, he probably goes out like across the street from the museum and says, "Psst, you hungry kid?"
It's like, hey, it's like your potassium's low.
Well, I do like the idea that a banana taped to the wall is called Comedian, which is funny. One commenter noted, quote, I think 2 walnuts should be hung on the wall and called nuts or the balls. That would be beautiful.
I would need it because I would be afraid that there'd be like formaldehyde or some kind of preservative. I would be
Or if it's
afraid
been
that
dusted. Or,
I would be afraid that there was some kind of treatment to it. Like the person would get sick because they're eating something that could have been treated.
Well, you could probably tell once you open the banana that it was an actual.
Yeah, but you don't know what's on any part. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
It could have been injected with something,
Please do not eat the art.
Or like even yellow colored. It'd be more yellow. Like I wouldn't have gone near it.
Well, there's always going to be someone.
Yeah.
Always, if there's kids eating Tide Pods.
Yeah, but what it says to me is like, if you know that there's an exhibit that might be like that, you got to have a guard station there.
Yeah, but if you're a museum, do you want to spend, however many $1,000 a
It's
year?
probably cheaper to spend for an exhibit that's like rotating to keep a guard there than to spend like now.
Actually, no. It's cheaper to buy a new
Yeah,
banana.
but that's their insurance. Their insurance is going to go up at that museum
Oh, I
because
see.
they're
Yeah.
going to have to.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, great. If they were destroying other kinds of art, but really paying a museum guard like $14 an hour versus replacing, even if you have people literally coming and eating bananas all day.
Do you think
It's the length of
they should have it in the gift shop or something? Honey,
That's
you're going to get sick. Don't mess up Leslie's hat now.
create your art at home. Here's the home version of the sculpture. Here's a roll of Scotch tape.
I like it.
You go to the person that buy a banana and find a wall.
I like it. I like it. I like it. That works for me.
But it's not so different from. It really isn't so different from, like Yoko Ono, when she was doing Cut Piece, before she was John Lennon's wife and all that, where she would come on stage in a white sort of shirt, a white roby, loose-fitting shirt, and there would be on stage a pair of scissors,
Yeah.
and then people from the gallery, the audience would come up and each would cut a piece of her robe until she was naked.
Wow.
Well, you couldn't really. She would probably have to buy a new robe
Yeah,
every single time that she did that thing.
Mhm.
So part of the art was destroying it.
Yes.
The kind of.
But that's different than, like, I don't know, like you don't like. It would be like you going into your grandma Lucy's house, seeing plastic grapes on a
I love
coffee
plastic
table
grapes.
and eating them.
Yeah, well, I know. I wish I would.
We've had stories of people biting plastic fruit thinking it's real.
Yeah, well, if it looks, they make them more and more real looking. Why wouldn't they? All right, let's do one more. Let's do one more elsewhere because I'm afraid to do some of these old time things.
Yeah, save them because if it's not coming again, they're going to be. There's going to be a problem.
And this is very recent. This you know about this one also.
I do.
I think you may have,
Send it to you.
or I sent it to you, or one of these others. This happened in Los Angeles last Friday,
I'll see.
a week ago, at the Los Angeles Philharmonic last Friday.
Mhm.
The second movement of Tchaikovsky's
Oh, I
Fifth
sent it to
Symphony,
you.
was very, very well received, particularly by one audience member, a woman who experienced, quote, a loud and full body orgasm, unquote.
God bless her.
Several concert goers described the woman's climactic moment in the balcony. Said one witness, quote, I saw her after it happened. She was breathing heavily and her partner was smiling. It was quite beautiful. By the way, the orchestra did not miss a beat
Good.
while she was beating her meat curtains. But
I don't. Did they ever follow it up?
they still haven't identified
I'm
the
going
one.
to ask.
Mm.
Where was the Philharmonic?
Los Angeles Philharmonic, yeah.
What happened to the woman who had an orgasm at the LA Philharmonic 6 days ago? Molly Grant? Oh no.
They named her?
No, I don't know if
Oh,
that's
no,
her. Let me see. She was enjoying. Hold on.
yeah,
Oh no, she was somebody. I saw the girl.
yeah. And
The woman said it's quite beautiful. They don't have any more information. Some people know how to live.
well, but this is true. This is happening, and if you get the video from one of the news sources or something, then you can actually, there is that moment. You hear the orchestra playing something. There's a bit of a silent thing, so it's a perfect moment, and you just hear ah, like the whole orchestra, like a whole balcony had to hear the whole thing. But after the video of the moan went viral, one quipster tweeted, quote, talk about a concert getting a standing O. And, this is really, really cool. This is the weird part. This is why I love, as much as modern media sucks and social media sucks and this whatever's happening to American newspapers is happening. The idea of follow-up and just being able to follow up with things like this. Classical music scholars have noted that the melody of John Denver's Annie song is the horn solo from the second movement of Tchaikovsky's Fifth.
Oh.
And the lyrics of Annie's song of that moment are, you fill up my senses, come fill me again. There you go. You feel
I
ah!
think John Denver knew.
Yeah. I mean, I'm most people, most of the commentators think that she's got one of these devices now where the woman
Yeah.
could like put it.
But it's so weird. It's like, and nobody knew who she was, and all these.
Well, what if you sat someone? If you weren't married to a theater
But
critic,
you buy tickets when it doesn't have to be in your name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's just like he probably was sitting there grinning, going, on his little device, like 7.
It's so weird, right? Yeah.
No, it's just people, But the interesting thing is, she goes to Tchaikovsky, and here's the second movement and has an orgasm. All I know is every time I go to a Kenny G concert, I start vomiting. So
Wow.
it's just people are
Very
so
different,
different.
very
Yeah,
different.
very different. All right, let's get back to some criminality and then end this segment here. No offense to Kenny G, except the music that he makes. Here we go. A caller. Where are we? Oh yes, a caller on Wilshire Avenue said a car was parked in the neighborhood for 3 days.
Wow.
The driver was intoxicated and urinating in the street for 3 days.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's just going to sit there, like, does nothing all. It just sits in the car, and then every couple of hours, is like, oh,
Here we go.
There I go. That's a life. That's some people lead lives of leisure. Sit in your car, pee every once in a while. That is a leisurely life, I've got to say.
Some people have all the luck.
I know. Some people have let's do another one. A woman on 16th Street said that she was being harassed by her neighbors. Why? Because she burned sage in her apartment. And as soon as Sage gets out of the ICU, police are going to interview her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That's
no.
not nice.
I know. And let's end with another mad woman. A woman on 4th Avenue said she suspected drug use at the apartments because she was getting static electric shocks that made her feel sick. Well,
Maybe she was listening to Kenny G.
or this program. She wanted to make sure management wasn't doing anything illegal, such as this is where shocking people to make them skinny by putting chemicals in the walls.
Management, that's good. That's a new weight loss
That
program.
is, they could do that. Mm-hmm.
They make you skinny by shocking your. That's a new way to do it.
It will work for me.
Maybe you don't go to the kitchen because you get shocked when you leave the room.
That's right. If you go past the living room, it's a thought. Anyway, shockingly, that is the way we are ending this segment of Dave's Gone By. It's called Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
But he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi!
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Oh, my friends, it is 20 to 12 in the afternoon here in the neighborhood. Spending it with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce. I want to remind you that if you want to read my stuff, because I keep telling you, go to davesgoneby.com to watch episodes of the show or watch our interviews and watch other things from the program. But if you actually want to read, because, just like Richard Dresser, not as successfully, of course, but just like Dresser and Lee Wachner last week, I'm a playwright. I've written one-act plays, they're very funny. I've written full-length plays, they're very funny. I've written song lyrics, they're very disgusting, and poems, and lots of profile pieces with celebrities and interviews and news items about the world of entertainment and the theater, and the occasional comic essay and short stories, and I even collaborate very often with Rabbi Sal Solomon on his rabbinical reflections. If you want to see the repository, as opposed to the suppository, of where all my writings reside, and we keep adding more and more, please go to davelefkowitz.org. Dave, Lefkowitz, KOWITZ.org, davelefkowitz.org. It's all like my other website. It's also absolutely free and you can surf around and search and scroll and just enjoy. If you have a theater company and you're looking for a one-act play to do, or like Richard Dresser was talking about, a podcast, and you want a play that might be adaptable to that format, I've written them. Go look for them on my website, davelefkowitz.org. If you're into, celebrities and female celebrities in particular, for about 15 years now, maybe 20 years, I've been writing cover stories for Long Island Woman magazine. And so check them out. There's going to be one coming up with Belinda Carlisle in just a few weeks. It hasn't been published yet, but so yeah, I got lots of really well-known people, from Billie Jean King to Joan London to Gloria Gaynor to Idina Menzel to Chano. I mean, it's just a list of fairly major, high-profile, A-list female celebrities over the years, and thank you to my editor Ari for publishing them. But I'm also taking them after they've long been published, archiving them at davelefkowitz.org. So, and there's visuals, if I've downloaded or scanned as many as I can, so you get the visuals of the way they looked when they were originally published. So that's that. What else do I want to tell you? I want to thank some people before we get to our Colorado Limerick. We are going to do a Colorado Limerick because we're going to Wetmore. There's a place called Wetmore, Colorado. There it is. But before then, some thank yous and friends of the neighborhood. Friends of the neighborhood are people who have been on this program, whether it's this week for the first time or they've been here many, many times. We consider them friends. We consider them family. So, for example, today we had Leslie Hovan Blake from Two on the Aisle on the Two on the Aisle YouTube channel. It's a TV show where she and Charlie Gross, another friend of ours from way, way back, review theater. And this is especially this time of year with the Tony nominations out this week. So, check it out, Two on the Aisle with Leslie and Charles. Don't forget to go see Vicky Quaddy.
It was named after William Wetmore.
Who was a settler, right?
Who was the first settler.
Yeah. But give me one. We'll get to the Limerick in a bit because I want to thank Vicky Quaddy. Go see her. She's doing Bible Bingo as well as Late Night Catechism at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago this weekend. Or if you happen to be in Milwaukee next week, go see her do Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun? So the wonderful Vicky Quaddy, really, really wonderful lady. We thank her for being in the neighborhood this week. We also thank our brand new friend of the neighborhood, Richard Dresser, the snappy dresser indeed. If you are anywhere near the Jersey Shore, go over the next 3 weeks and see his new play. It is, and I'm so sorry that I don't have it in my actual mind. It's called Our Shrinking World, and it's playing at New Jersey Repertory, njrep.org for tickets. It sounds, but it's like, a story with a basic story and an apocalyptic overview, and it sounds pretty funny too. It's running through May 27th at New Jersey Rep. And thank you also to our longtime friends, Fred Kleber and Wendy Hybe out there in Greeley, Colorado. But those are just the people, and Rabbi Sal Solomon, King Solomon this week, who has his website, Shalom Dammit,
It was very fancy.
which is where you can watch his filmed stage show, Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Sal Solomon. You can also watch his hilarious TV show episodes. He did 10 of those for Long Island Cable a while back. All his rabbinical reflections are also on his site. It's shalomdammit.com, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com. But again, these are just the folks who appeared today on
Crazy.
Dave's Gone By.
They have such good guests.
I know. And who's been on in years past? I'll tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, so who are friends of the neighborhood? What are they up to? For example, want to let you know that Woody King Jr. who founded the New Federal Theater. He's got a play that he is directing. It's called Telling Tales Out of School, and it's being done at the Castillo Theater over far on West 42nd Street, like 10th, 11th Avenue. Telling Tales Out of School. So, if you don't have one now, later today or tomorrow, go get yourself some Woody. Jessica Scher is in the short film Wicked Image, which is being shown at the Coney Island Film Festival that is happening today. Also tonight at the Brokerage, I played the Brokerage, in Belmore, New York on Long Island, Jackie, the Joke Man Martling. And also tonight, if you're not in the mood for comedy, you're in for something more musical, go see, and you're in New Jersey. Hey, maybe you'll do the New Jersey matinee on the South Shore of Richard Dresser's play. And then in the evening, you can see on a twin bill both of our friends, Graham Parker and Willie Nile. They are at the Tabernacle in Mount Tabor, New Jersey. I don't know where that is. I don't know how far that is from the shore. But Mount Tabor, New Jersey, for Willie Nile and Graham Parker together. I mean, they each do sets, so maybe they share a song or two. But speaking of Willie Nile, he will be playing on Sunday in a tribute to both Bob Dylan and George Harrison that is being done at City Winery in New York. So there's a lot of different musicians doing songs either by Dylan and Harrison or songs the two of them collaborated on. So Willie Nile will be there as well as the Kennedys. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks are at Birdland, and they're there for an open run. It happens, how often are they there now? It's, I wrote this down, I purposely wrote this down today, and where are they? Oh well, I thought I did, maybe I didn't. But it's Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks at Birdland for, once a week for an open run. Leslie was just mentioning Richard Viteri. Richard Viteri's 100 Years into the Heart. A new musical is being tried out. This is a real New Jersey day. New Jersey Rep is doing a reading of it in Long Branch, New Jersey, on Tuesday evening, and it's going to feature our friend Robert Cuccioli. Man, after 3 hours I can't talk. Robert Cuccioli is going to be in this reading of this new musical with a book by Richard Viteri, 100 Years into the Heart. That is Tuesday night, May 9th, at New Jersey Rep. And again, it's just like a tryout or a reading. Neil Berg is doing his concert show 100 Years of Broadway at 54 Below. So, Berg has spent all these years bringing his show to people who are not in Midtown Manhattan, not seeing these Broadway shows. And what he does is he plays the piano and he orchestrates everything, and he gets a couple of Broadway-level singers to do Broadway show tunes. And they'll bring it all over the country. But this time, he's actually just bringing me to the heart of Manhattan, 54 Below. That is this Wednesday night. Playing now just through, I believe, Thursday, Al Tapper and Tony Sportiello's musical On the Right Track is at their AMT Theater. Now through May 14th, you can see Karen Ziemba in Murder on the Orient Express, which is written by our other friend, Ken Ludwig, and is, guess where? New Jersey, the Paper Mill Playhouse. Oh, and look who's here. Shayaporn Theokulsit. Therakulstit, that's his last name. We just call him Shayaporn, and who wouldn't be Shayaporn? But he's in Con the Musical at the Players Theater, off Broadway, downtown there. Shayaporn is the boyfriend, I don't think they're married, of one of my cousins. So yay for him, at the Players Theater, which is where I did some stuff for Stage Buddy all those years ago. What else do we have here? We have Karen Finley, extended in COVID Vortex Anxiety Opera Kitty Kaleidoscope Disco at the Laurie Beachman Theater on the west side of Midtown. J.O. Sanders is in Primary Trust. That is a roundabout theater production at the Laura Pels Theater running through early July. I think it just might have started. And condolences to the Roundabout Theater because their leader died about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
After 3 hours, I can't.
Cancer, died of cancer.
But
Not the Roundabout, it was the public.
No, roundabout. It was a roundabout. It was
Really? Okay.
oh,
Who was the leader of the Roundabout Theater who died? Todd Haynes.
Todd Haynes. Yeah, Todd Haynes. I wish, sometimes you hear about someone dying, it's like, why didn't I get him on the show? It's like, too late. Anyway, who else? Lilius White is in Hadestown on Broadway at the Walter Kerr Theater. Alan Menken wrote the music for Broadway's Aladdin. He also wrote the music for the off-Broadway revival of Little Shop of Horrors at the West Side Theater. Reminding you that at Don't Tell Mama, Seth Beeson-Hirsch does Seth's Talent Showcase every Tuesday evening. K.T. Sullivan spends Tuesday evenings at the Algonquin Theater. Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, they spend their Saturday evenings at Birdland over on West 44th Street. Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. BirdlandJazz.com for tickets. StageBuddy.com is a wonderful
Yes.
website devoted to New York nightlife, edited and founded by my friend Evan Seplow. Dr. Demento doing Dr. Demento shows old and new at drdemento.com. And my goodness, I think that will just about do it. Oh, and listen on WBAI Radio still to David Kenny's long-running show of cabaret songs and show tunes. It's called Everything Old is New Again. And those, my friends, are the friends of the neighborhood. Oh, my friends, yes, it is, it's almost 5 to noon here on this Saturday, almost afternoon, May 6th, 2023. You're watching the 893rd episode of Dave's Come By. Did you find something on the phone there that's to
No, I'm updating my my health coach that I worked out.
Oh, good, yeah, no, good.
Do you want me off the phone? Is that your passive aggressive?
No, you made like you were going to show me something on the phone.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not showing you nothing.
Oh.
You're not seeing nothing.
Oh.
I need the strong arm one. How do you get the strong arm?
Well, you lift weights, I guess. You do repetitive weights. Or you threaten somebody who's smaller than you and you just strong arm them. Ha! Are you ready with that joke?
I'm not ready for it, but go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a poem to do. I'm going to remove a king should not be doing this.
No, you should be unkinged for that.
Definitely. Because this is going to be kind of half-baked. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Now, not much of a poet, but I can write really disgusting, filthy, short poems. Limericks are, of course, 5 lines long. They've got that, we'll explain it. But the main thing is that Joyce and I lived in Colorado for a bunch of years. And while doing that, I thought, hey, let me start writing a really awful, disgusting poem about as many places in Colorado as I can possibly think of. And at first, you pick some of the easy ones. I always go to Vail. Greeley isn't that difficult because it rhymes with really and other things like that. But Boulder for sure. And yet they do get tougher as the years, quite literally the years, go on. I've got well over 250 of these now. I keep challenging myself every week to try and come up with new ones. And I have. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we're going to Wetmore, Colorado. Yes, there's a Wetmore.
Who was the person's name?
Colorado. Well, we'll have you tell about Wetmore.
That was the name of the founder.
He was a settler. He was the guy who settled Wetmore, Colorado, which is our limerick of the damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme, and likewise verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain,
Oh, my friends, yes, Rocky Mountain, we are so high on our Colorado limerick, even though it sinks to the lowest depths usually. This one, how bad is this one? It's not terribly filthy, but it's just not nice. It's like a nice poem. It's for Wetmore, Colorado. As George said, settler.
That's all we know about it on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Tiny community in south central Colorado. It's had a post office since 1881. Back in the 1840s, there was a community that tried to settle there because they had a creek. Like a creek. I like saying creek instead of creek. I don't know why. They had a creek running through it. But Colorado is dry, it's cold, it's dry. Efforts failed because their crops failed. So they ended up calling it Hardscrabble Creek, because it's or creek, because they just couldn't make a go of it. Hardscrabble life there. Wetmore, Colorado is 30 miles from Pueblo, and it's on the edge of the Wet Mountains.
Oh, so from him.
It's very scenic. It's got horse farms and
It
stuff.
rains a lot there.
I'm imagine, yeah, maybe. It's high up, it's about 6,000 feet above sea level. And I would have loved to go to this, but it had a general store / steakhouse for many, many years, and it closed a few years back. So there really isn't much to do, except, as with so much of Colorado, just kind of look around. But not much there in Wetmore, although horse farms are perfect. If you wanted to go horse riding, it'd be a pretty good place to go.
I could go there too.
Or, if you wanted to hear a really awful, disgusting poem, Wetmore is the place. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, Wetmore, Colorado. I wedded a woman from Wetmore, a marriage I could not regret more. She used to be dishy and didn't smell fishy, but now she's a ghastly, thick-set whore. Please send your comments, opinions, and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. I read as much as I can. I respond when I can. Whether you email me, davesgoneby@aol.com, or just post your messages. I'd love to see them under Facebook, either under our most recent shows, or if you're a friend on Facebook, you can message me directly too. In fact, I don't think you even have to be a friend to message someone.
I have no
It's
idea.
just friends just get their feeds or
So,
however
I
that
think
works.
like it's like, people you don't know and like spam. I think you can message anyone.
Yeah, directly I think
Unless
you
you
can.
set it up where you can.
Maybe. Or if you say I can only
I
receive
think the
messages from
default
friends.
is the default is everybody. You have to like specify if not.
Well, default is in our stars, not in ourselves. Anywho, that was Dave's Gone By on this May 6,
I think you should end with your
23.
crown, honey.
Oh, we've got we've got to end this properly. It's a ceremony. There's a whole thing. So first, let me put the crown on.
And you should narrate it while you're doing it.
We also have to get things ready. We have to make this a proper processional. Just as King Charles
Yes.
was handed the egg
Do you
with a
wanna
cross
hold
on it and a
to
scepter.
yours or something?
Wait, I'm gonna put this on.
Okay.
Hold on,
yes.
this is important.
Oh, you're on air. Yes.
Oh boy, let's do
Here,
this
I'll
right.
get the music going for you.
Oh. And so, my loyal royal subjects, so ends this 893rd episode of the Dave's Gone By Programmio Podcastio Facebookio of the stream. Instagramio too. No, it's not. Castbox FMEO of the stream. With me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife Joyce. We loved the participation of our new friend Richard Dresser, who is a playwright and whose scribbly scriptures will be done in, you should pardon the expression, New Jersey later this evening and this afternoon. We thank Leslie Herbenblake. We thank Vicky Quaddy. We thank Fred Kleber, Wendy Hybe, High Bong and Low Bong, Low Big. We also invite you to come back to us next week for the 894th episode of Dave's Gone By. At this point, we will bid a fleeting farewell to the Grand Knish as he goes off to have his morning ketchup. Grand Knish usually has it much earlier in the day, but he wanted to be part of this very, very important ceremony. We also watched the parade of New Potato, as well as our beloved Prince Spudward. They are preceded, of course, by the screaming goats.
And the
And with a final exciting and thrilling fanfare, we'll fan him
no, you gotta
fairly.
try the other way. No,
Isn't it?
no, try the other knob, Your Highness.
Oh, yes. His Highness enjoys trying the other knob. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to leave the neighborhood. We should be returning next Saturday at this very time. I believe that would be May 13th, 9 until noon-ish, Eastern, not London time, with a brand new episode of Dave's Gone By. Until then, do not miss your days going by, and farewell.
Dave's gone by. Dave's gone by. Dave's gone by.
See you next week.